Hello, good evening. I call the meeting to order. This meeting of the Hopkinton Select Board is being held both in person and remotely using the video conference platform Zoom. All members participating in the meeting are present in the meeting room. The public has the option of attending in person here at Town Hall or via Zoom using the link posted in this meeting's agenda. This meeting is being recorded. The first item on the agenda, Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item is the consent agenda. The Select Board will, the first item is, of course, public forum. So residents are invited to share ideas, opinions, or ask questions regarding the town government. Each person will have up to 2 minutes to speak at public forum, and please start by stating your name and address. And two rules we have been following, which is we'll have the public forum up to 6:15 p.m. And if we have more speakers, we will defer that towards the end of the meeting so we can stay on schedule. And the second is we will rotate the topics of the public forum and not repeat the same immediately after, but we will get back to it once we cover the other topics. Do we have anyone in the room who wants to come first? Please.
Marie Wiskowski, 15 Morning Drive, Ashland.
Hello.
"250 days, no independent investigation, no formal process change, no accountability. Each one of these victims have been re-traumatized by that silence. I want to ask you all, Mr. Herr, I want to ask you one question. If this were your daughter, would you answer that the town acted appropriately? The failures of the HPD leadership, the town manager, and this board have consequences. These consequences have names. Their names are Amanda, Christina, Isabel, and Lynn. And some of those are in our room today. And we know that there's more. Look at them. Board, look at them. Amanda would be here today, but unfortunately 3 years ago she overdosed, never healing from the damage done by her assailant and never healing from the damage done that this town did to protect the assailant's business. Amanda's sister's here though, and well, you have heard part of her story, and her family knows trauma all too well. It is burying your sister, your daughter, at the age of 33. It is raising 3 children without their mother. I want you to understand something. Every time this board did nothing, every time someone said that we did everything we could, every time a license was renewed without a word, every time the response was, move on. Or when the town says that it acted appropriately, you were sending these women a message. And the message was this: you are not worth it. You are not protected. You do not matter enough for this institution to be uncomfortable on your behalf. That message has a name too, and we call it trauma. And the board has delivered it repeatedly across 14 years to at least 4 women and more that worked in this town. And we trusted that someone in authority was paying attention.
Excuse me.
When you issue your next statement, can you please turn that off for a moment? When you issue your next statement explaining why there should be no public hearing for Chief Bennett or an investigation to the town manager, remember the faces of these women. This institution protected itself at every decision point while a predator operated with a valid town license.
Thank you. Please wrap up.
The record is been filed. The victims are right here. Right here. Make that choice now after you've looked them in the eye and tell them there should be no public hearing.
Thank you. Please come over. Is it the same topic? Do we have another topic to cover first? All right. Your name and address, please.
Timothy Boyven, 41 Pinecrest Village in Hopkinton.
Hello.
You just heard from yet more victims. This town is not safe for women. It's not safe for young girls. You have a police chief who basically pretended like he didn't know what was going on in his own department when he surely knew. He surely knew. They talked about these 4 victims, 4 survivors, 3 survivors and 1 victim. There's another survivor out there. She's watching tonight. She was raped by your deputy police chief. Ms. Ritterbusch, you publicized her name, and you're still on the board. You have no honor. You have no shame.
Please go through the chair.
Mr. Manan, you're in healthcare. You're the chair. You're in healthcare. In data, you know the importance. You know the importance of protecting people's privacy, and yet you did nothing. I have never met a bigger group of cowards in my life than the select board over the past 3 years. I was here for a year. I was writing letters. I was writing opinion pieces, and you still did nothing. And you ruined not just these women's lives, but also my friend and her mother and her children's lives. At some point, have some honor. Do something. The fact that Joe Bennett is still the police chief of this town is reprehensible. If not criminal, he should have been charged for releasing her name, as should Ms. Ritterbusch. And it just continues. Now, there are people behind me now. I was doing it with a couple other. I will finish up my remarks, Mr. Manan. I was working with other people, but I was not very well organized. But these people are organized, and they're not going to stop coming. So you better get off your duffs and do something about your police chief especially, and the people who are still on the board who were here then.
To wrap up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the board. I am here to report back on our event from the Friends of Hopkinton Fire and Light that we held at Town Common on March 21st. I am very happy to say that the event was a big success. We had a great turnout by Hopkinton residents, both old and young. And I just wanted to make notice to the board here of the support we had throughout the town. Of course, starting with the board here, you guys have always been, guys and ladies, you've always been supportive of our organization, whether it's Family Day, Family Fling, or our new event this year, Fire and Light. Parks and Rec, speaking with Colleen and Director John, they've been very gracious letting us use the town common, and they let us again have our event there. The DPW, Mike Manza, always there giving us a hand. Anything we asked for, he provided for us on our event. The police department, Chief Bennett, Deputy Chief Deputy Chief Van Ralton and Lieutenant Aaron O'Neill. They're all very supportive, sent men up. We had Detective DeBoer with the drone. We had the cruisers up there and officers up there speaking with the public. And the fire department, Chief Doherty, Deputy Chief Jurassic, and firefighter Tom Poirier were very helpful. They sent the fire truck up there. Again, mixing in with the public, showing their apparatus and that. So this was a keeper. Matt was there. He enjoyed it. And like I said, both young and new were there. And we hope to do it again next year. And we thank the board for their support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please come in.
We have 3 minutes left.
Yeah, we have 3 minutes left, so this would probably be the last, or we can...
I'll be quick then. You should have a little grace to allow these people a little more time. I have a document here, Karen Crum, 12 Joseph Road, thank you. I have a document that I'll give to you. I'm not going to read it all. It's a recommendation to the select board and the town and assistant town manager. I hope it's helpful. It's information gathered from September 2025 to January 2026, combination of feedback from current and former Hopkinton Police Department employees, Hopkinton residents, and other agencies. It's just a list of things that they have recommended. Some of them are common sense, like more community policing, additional officer training. The one that really stuck out to me, and was ironic because it happened today, was to bring back RAD training for women and students in Hopkinton. Today was the biannual RAD training simulation in the Hopkinton High School. Hopkinton Police Department does not participate in this. I've let that set in for a moment. They used to. They haven't since 2023. Today, one of the officers showed up. It did not go over well. There are officers from multiple other towns that come in and allow these students to use their aggression as if they're being attacked and they have to defend themselves. Hopkinton Police Department does no longer participate in this. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will say, I did redact one thing. I apologize for the messiness of the redaction. Current police officer thought it would identify him too much.
Thanks, Karen.
Yes, please come.
Hi, my name is Heather Stanek. I'm a resident of Worcester, Massachusetts. I had no intention of speaking tonight, but I'd just like to address the behavior of the select board. Snickering and rolling your eyes when someone's speaking. The people who voted to put you on this board is incredibly disrespectful. It's incredibly disrespectful to those who are speaking. It's incredibly disrespectful to those of us who took the time to come here and talk to you and not be anywhere near our comfort zone. Do you think this is fun for us? Through the chair, Mr. Kisner, don't roll your eyes at us.
If I did, I apologize. Not my intent.
Please direct to the chair.
I directed it through the chair. That's what I said, through the chair. Please do not laugh at us. It takes incredible strength and incredible resilience to sit here before you. I am not a victim. My entire body is shaking. This is not me doing anything different than the natural response that I have coming before a select board who dismisses women, who dismisses survivors, who dismisses their entire female population. Think about everyone who you are adversely affecting. Please and thank you.
Thank you. I think, do we have anyone else? Please.
We're at 6:15.
We are at 6:15. Sorry, we'll have to entertain that towards the end of the meeting. We'll open it up again.
Can you not take a vote to extend the time?
We decided on this rule for some time, and we've been practicing it. So I'll move on to our next agenda item, which is our consent agenda. And I'll read the agenda first and see if there is anyone who wants to move any topic out of the consent agenda. The Select Board will consider the following consent agenda. Minutes. The Select Board will consider approving the minutes of the March 3rd, 2026, March 10, 2026, and March 17, 2026 meetings. Parade permit application, Wicked 5K road race. The Select Board will consider approving a parade permit application for the Hopkinton Center for the Arts, HCA, for the Wicked 5K road race, which is an annual event. The event is to be held on October 25, 2026 at 9:30 a.m. The starting and ending point will be the HCA at Loop Road. C, special temporary alcohol license, Knights of Columbus. The Select Board will consider approving a special temporary alcohol license for Joseph Altman on behalf of the Knights of Columbus Bishop Rice Council 4822 for its annual fundraiser. The event is to be held on May 2, 2026, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the St. John's Parish Hall, located at 20 Church Street. The alcohol will be served by TIPS certified servers. In addition, the board will consider a fee waiver for the license application. D, temporary signs on town property. The Select Board will consider a request from the Hopkinton Lions Club to place temporary signs within the East Main Street, Cedar Street, West Main Street, Wood Street, South Street, and Hayden Row rights of way. Signs to be placed on April 10, 2026, and removed on May 9, 2026, after the event. Sign size is 3 square feet pursuant to zoning bylaw section 210-178F. The Select Board may authorize the placement of signs within the following road rights of way: East Main Street, Cedar Street, Wood Street, South Street, and Hayden Row. Temporary signs may be displayed for up to 30 days and may not exceed 8 square feet. E, Library Week proclamation. The Select Board will consider proclaiming April 19 to 25, 2026 as National Library Week. During this week, all residents are encouraged to visit the library, explore its resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library helps our community find joy. F, new town employees. The Select Board will consider confirming the town manager's appointment of Donna Carlson as Senior Library Assistant and Alison McCahan as Substitute Library Assistant. Any thoughts of moving any item? Or we are good with the consent agenda?
I just wanted to ask a question about the Wicked 5K route. I noticed in the comments they recommend having an AED available at the first aid station. And I assume that the applicant has agreed with that? Yes. Okay. Then I would be happy to move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you. All those, any discussions? All those who are in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nay?
I'm not trying to speak out of turn, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. I noticed that...
I'm sorry, I cannot allow this.
I just have
No, you have to follow the decorum.
on record,
I apologize
sir.
if you were
This needs to
feeling
be on
differently,
record,
but
sir.
we cannot let that
You have a
happen.
survivor here.
We understand,
You have
and
multiple survivors here, and you skipped over 15 minutes of public forum time that you had to say a
We
statement.
empathize, but we have
You
to
had
follow
more
the order.
people
I'm
on
sorry.
Trying to speak, and you would not take a vote even. I'm just making that known to anyone watching this, now or in the future. They have survivors here. They had 15 minutes to speak.
I'm sorry, you're
themselves,
disrupting the
and they
meeting.
refused to take a vote after giving that time away and moving on with survivors in the room for people to speak.
We haven't
On this very
published
important
agenda
public
and
safety
timing.
issue.
I'm
And
sorry.
that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I just wanted it noted clearly
Thank you.
what happened here tonight. I don't do that, by the way. I'm a chain of command girl. That was insane.
Since it's not quite time for the public hearing on the street acceptance, I wonder if we might move the Commission on Disability appointment earlier?
I think we'll need a motion to do that.
I don't think we need a motion to do one agenda item out of order. Is that the consensus?
Fine by me.
Are we all okay with that?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Amy was proposing to move the
Commission on Disability.
Commission on Disability appointment now, rather than
Item 10.
7:40, because the
This is too soon.
candidate is here, and we didn't want her to wait that long.
Okay, it's fine.
I'm all set.
Thank you. So we'll move to the next agenda items, board and committee appointments. The Select Board will consider appointing Pamela Locke to the Commission on Disability to a term expiring on June 30, 2026. Do we have Ms. Locke here?
She's on Zoom, yes.
Ms. Locke, do you want to introduce yourself and say a few words?
And the chair of the Commission on Disability is also on Zoom, Punky.
All right. Maybe the chair, if you want to speak first, and then Ms. Locke.
Okay. Oh, Pamela's on now. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Locke. Thank you.
My name is Pam Locke. I live in Hopkinton on Marshall Ave. I've lived in Hopkinton 28 years, and I usually travel with a guide dog, and you may have seen me in town. My last guide dog just died in January. But I am happy to serve on this committee in order to help improve issues that might come up regarding us helping people with disabilities in Hopkinton. I have attended the meetings probably the last 5 months just to become familiar with it and offer help where I could. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with this committee.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Ms. Luck. Thank you for stepping forward. And Elaine, this is for one open position. We have one candidate. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
We have 2 open positions, there's 1 applicant.
Or 2. Okay, so we have more open positions. Thank you, Ms. Luck, for stepping forward. I appreciate that. And I'll open it to the board if anyone wants to ask any question or make any comments.
No, just excited to have somebody coming forward. We've been having a lot of discussions here about turnover on that board, looking to get people in. So I'm excited to hear that there's somebody with energy and enthusiasm. Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you.
And I agree. Pamela has attended a lot of our meetings, and it would be nice for her to be able to be a voting member now. So I'm glad she was able to apply. So
Sounds like a good fit to me.
All right. Thank you again. And we really need more volunteers to stepping in these important positions and committees. This is a very important committee that was opened, created a few years back, and we really need a lot of traction on that front. So good luck, and we'll take a motion. Oh, actually, Chair of the Commission, do you want to say a few words?
Sure, I would love to. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nancy Drella, a.k.a. Punky, 13 Davis Road. And actually, I'm in the hospital now, so I'm talking out of this one side of my mouth because it's one side's paralyzed, but I'll do the best that I can. So anyway, the Commission on Disability, having Pamela as a member of our great team will be an asset to us because she's been coming to the meeting, every meeting that she can, and she's been giving us a lot of information, and she's also knows a lot of information and does a lot of research, and I'm just so happy to tell you that we as a board will be more than happy to have her on the board now, because now she will be able to vote on our special projects and help us along with them instead of just as a standby. So I'm proud to have her, and I'm glad that she's going to be appointed. This is wonderful for all of us in the whole town. Thank you.
Thank you, Punky, and thank you for all you do. And we would love to have some representation from your board in the future. So we'll have an invite out, and if you can come with your members and give us an update on how we can help, I think we would certainly appreciate that. But thank you.
That would be great if we could. Yeah, that would be great if we could.
Feel better, Punky.
Thank you.
Just through the chair, quick question to Elaine here. I noticed that we're appointing for a term potentially just to 30 June. Is that because the position is then up for election or reappointment, or?
Right, so she's filling an unexpired term, which expires at the end of June, so should be reappointed in a couple of months.
Okay. I move to appoint Pamela Locke to the Commission on Disability to a term expiring on 30 June 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carries 4-0. Congratulations, Ms. Locke, and thank you again.
Thank you very much.
We are near 6:25, and we'll wait another few seconds and open up the public forum on public hearing on street acceptance.
We could start livening up
Yeah, I can start
people that
reading
need to speak, right? So who needs to speak on this?
Oh, I see some neighbors.
You're going in order, Osceola Drive first.
Okay.
Parker, who's here.
I'm calling to order to open a public hearing on street acceptance. The Select Board will hold a public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 82, Section 21, to discuss accepting and laying out the following streets as a public ways: Osceola Drive, Linden Street, Whisper Way. Articles are on the warrant for the 2026 annual town meeting to accept these streets as public ways. The Planning Board recommends acceptance of Linden Street, does not recommend acceptance of Osceola Drive, and a recommendation on Whisper Way is pending. Abutters have been notified of the public hearing. Now, we'll open it for public hearing, and if anyone wants to speak to it, please come forward. Elaine, do you want to add anything to it?
So the opponent, Dr. Happ, is here to make a brief presentation.
Perfect. Ms. Happ, Mr. Happ. Thank you.
Is this thing on?
So in a capacity as a member of the planning board, what I would say, Whisper Way was approved by the board yesterday. So the recommendation, I noticed that wasn't updated in your guys' notes. I'll be brief because I know we're trying to move through the agenda, and I don't want to assume that you've read the tome that is the 230-page Osceola Drive archive from the town library in the Laserfish article, but I don't think that that is really what's relevant. I think what this is really and what we're here today to do is paperwork. Osceola Drive itself was created in the 90s, which kids today affectionately now call the late 1900s. I think it's kind of offensive, but that's just me. And you know, as part of that, I was 3 years old when this road was created, and though my hairline might not reflect that, but the truth is this thing's been going on for a while, where it originally intended to be a family road by Michael Osceola, who was living in Newton at the time, and in his almost golden years decided he wanted to build a subdivision that was going to be for him and his kids to live on and live happily ever after. And so when he bought the land, only 2 of his kids came, and none of the boys did. I don't know, there's some sort of fable probably that supports that, but the other lots were partitioned and sold off for other folks that some have still live in the community and some folks that have since moved out. The reason I tell that is because in 2016, Michael took steps to try and get the road accepted by then the select board, and this was 16 months prior to his death. And I give that detail as well because this, for all intents and purposes, probably should have been accepted in 16, 17 or around that time, and wasn't, simply because at the time there was a condition as part of the subdivision approval which stated that the owner of Osceola shall be responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of the road. But I got good news for you. We petitioned the planning board, and with a little bit of crackerjack, hard work, we were able to get that condition removed in December. And as also part of the board's review, though, there's a engineering study review that has to be done, which we have a pending draft from a reputable engineer who's worked with the town before, and that will be submitted to you in advance. And really, other than that, there isn't anything holding back acceptance other than an approval by town meeting. So while we certainly administratively would appreciate your stamp of approval on this, this is probably something that should have been done years ago, but you don't care about paperwork from the past. You care about risk and liability to the town, and what if we don't do this? And so I have a presentation, but I think we're doing a good enough job just with my own voice to not bore people with slides. The risk to the town, regardless if the road is accepted today or not, remains the same. I repeat, the risk to the town and liability remains the same if it's accepted or not. There's ample case law in Massachusetts court records to support that no nuisances, or as far as nuisance law goes, and my attorney that helped advise me, which is otherwise known as ChatGPT, no nuisance law supports that if towns do not take care of roads, regardless if they are recorded as public or private in the record of deeds, towns can still be held liable. So I share that because one, nothing changes materially regarding liability, but two, we are still receiving municipal services door to door, regardless of the classification of the road. Effectively, it has been functioning as a public road for 30 years and continues to. We're not a gated community. Folks walk up and down the street without impunity constantly, and we're quite welcome to it. Simply what we're trying to do is update paperwork. And so I think what I would hope is your thoughtful inspection as well, just understand what it is that might be holding you back from a yes vote to have the town accept this road and right this administrative step that probably should have done years ago. And please don't hold 3-year-old me liable for decisions that were made in 1994. And let's just get this thing fixed. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, through the chair, can we ask Director Reed to join us, because I would like to at least hear from the DPW perspective.
Sure. Do we want to do it for all three together or one by one?
Through the chair, we've got Parker here. He's given his presentation. I'm happy to at least ask the questions, but I'll follow where you're going.
Ms. Reed, are you online?
It's just here.
Oh, yeah, please. Maybe you can come and sit with us.
Carrie Reed, Director of Public Works.
Please go ahead, Mr. Kizner.
Hi, so in following with Parker's theme of assuming we haven't read the 230-page packet, could you maybe just give us a summary of where the town is on this? It seems Parker's done his diligence. I respect that you have too. I've heard his side. Can you give us a quick summary of where the town is and why we're not recommending support here?
I'm not recommending support. When we go to accept a private road and make it a public road, we expect it to be meeting the town standards as established in the subdivision rules and regulations, and this road doesn't. So if the town accepts it, then we would take on the liability of having to, I shouldn't say liability, that's a legal term. We would be taking on the cost of having to improve it up to town standards. Okay. And I provided a letter, it should be in your packet. I mean, I think it was around $170,000 we thought we'd get it up. You guys have your packet? I don't have it in front of me.
170 is what it says, yes.
Oh, good memory. Yes. So that was our opinion of probable cost of construction engineering estimate.
Okay. And then my only other question to you, are there any, from your perspective, potential downstream impacts in a world where we don't do this? And please don't take this as any indication of how I'm feeling. Hypothetically, in a world where we don't do this and the road is continued to be not maintained to town standard is the term I'm going to use. Is there any potential pass-through risk to the town? Not just from where Parker was framing it from a risk liability perspective, but I'm thinking like utilities, environmental condition, just general infrastructure. I want to understand from your perspective if there's any world in which not maintaining this ultimately impacts what is something that is accepted and acknowledged from a town perspective.
Off the top of my head, nothing considerable. It's a dead-end road. It has about 5 to 6 properties on it. Okay. It does get trash service right now. It does get school services at the closest school bus stop.
Okay.
So
all right.
Other than potentially stormwater management
okay.
on the private property running into the
Sure, but not enough that it was a concern to ultimately influence where you were. And so I did read it, but one of the things that I'm learning we have to do here is we have to say out loud what we are thinking and what we have learned, or it looks like we've done nothing. So thank you. I do appreciate that you walked us through it. I'm really torn on this one. I'm really interested in hearing where the rest of the board is. I think it's well known I live on also the end of an awful road. My neighbors are here. We'll be talking about it later. So I do have some sensitivity to what it is like to feel a little powerless in town about this and not know what you are supposed to do. And I don't know that my neighbors would give us $170,000 to fix the road. And I'd be pretty upset if I was asked. I can be honest about that too.
Thank you, Mr. Kizner.
Through the chair, can we respond to the question as well? Because I believe, just to reframe Mr. Kizner's initial ask, which is what is the downstream effect if we don't do this? Am I encapsulating that accurately, would you
Sure.
say? Okay. So there's a couple other areas of risk and liability too that weren't discussed and would be downstream literally. So Zero Osceola, which is where the infiltration system currently is for the stormwater and sewer sewer system also shares and abuts a existing town sewer and stormwater system. And effectively, the town is discharging water onto Osceola and Zero Osceola has functionally been part of the overall stormwater management process for the town. So there are certain liability and water quality standards that the town is held to that we could hold more control if we had that parcel in the town's and under the scope of care. But that withstanding, it also offers an opportunity to rectify what is potentially breakthrough water that is coming down Hayward Street and potentially damaging the road. And to the extent that what the town has managed to repair in the easement, they've done historically, but there are other parts of the pavement that have been damaged by a breakthrough water. So the town could be, if Paul Osceola was litigious, held liable for that. Right. I'm not her representative, and then the last piece is that if the town looks at this as part of the stormwater, looks at this as rectifying a past due, looks at this as also fixing what is breakwater issue, and I just lost my train of thought because I got flustered, but at least those two other liability pieces are to be considered too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haff. We do have two others, so I'm going to go a little quickly. Mr. Hare.
So I'm a little confused, no surprise for some. Linden Street, the planning board is recommending, I guess I'm chatting with Elaine here. Linden Street, the planning board is recommending, and it's Article 30, what is it here? 33 in the annual town meeting, right? So the town meeting is going to make the final decision here. Whisper Way is sponsored, that's by the Director of Public Works sponsored Linden Street, right, Carrie? Whisper Way, the planning board is the sponsor. They approved it last night, I think you mentioned, and that will be before town meeting. That's Article 32. And then there's this article for Osceola, which is Article 38, which is a citizen petition. Why is the planning board not sponsoring Article 38, the citizen petition?
I believe a representative of the planning board should be here to address.
Can we have the planning board member or representative coming to the front and participating?
Hi, Aneri Patel, Principal Planner. Sorry, I missed the question. Can you repeat?
Yeah, so through the chair, we've essentially asked why the planning board isn't supporting the citizens petition for Osceola Drive.
So there are a couple of reasons. One of the conditions when planning board amended the original subdivision decision and removed the condition of being Osceola Drive as a public. And so one of the conditions was like they need to go and meet the current town standards to become Osceola Drive as a public street, and that was the only reasons. And that is mentioned in the report as well.
So echoing, Carrie, what you were saying, correct, that it's not up to town standards yet. And we think it's 170 Gs, did I hear that somewhere along the way too? The developer's nowhere to be found, but they're gone.
They're dead.
Yeah, okay. All right, this isn't the first time that we've had to go through a developer walking or not being around years later and we're accepting a road, so I think there is some precedent to figure this out and get the funds necessary to bring it up to this standard, because we do want to have it at the same standard. The town meeting ultimately will make the decision, so, I'm okay with it, and we'll let town meeting sort it out. But I don't think, we're not the final authority here, so it's not like what we say is the end of the discussion.
Through the chair, may I also comment, Mr. Hur, could you, as part of our citizen petition, one of the conditions of that is the road doesn't have to be improved, and that it is going to be on the town to decide when or if funding should be approved. And I think it would be important to note that the state of Osceola didn't prevent us from being able to have multiple contractors over the last 2 years be able to plow it sufficiently without damage to their plows. And I would also add as well that roads that are of similar state do not lose plowing services by the town simply because they fall out of state and out of repair. So to the effect that this road might not be, a spring chicken like myself being built in the 90s, I would say it is still plowable, and we've got multiple contractors that will assess to the ability to plow it safely.
Yeah. Again, I think there's some precedent out there that we could probably say, okay, and we'll let town meeting make the final decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hare. Mr. Bush?
Yeah, since it's a citizen's petition, whether or not we recommend recommend approval, it will still be on the town meeting warrant for the voters to decide, correct? And then I guess what I wonder too is how many other, or there must be a lot of other roads in the same position in town, and we've always held, I'm worried about setting a precedent where we accept this road as a public way, but would not all these others, and it seems like they might be coming forward other years. Could the DPW director speak how many other similar roads are in this position, or approximately?
There's some metrics that are included in the memo that you have about public versus private roads. I don't know exactly what you mean by this condition or this circumstance, and that's really a planning board decision because this was a subdivision approved road that was never publicly accepted.
Okay.
I think, Amy, are you suggesting beyond these three, if there are other similar ones out there?
Not on the warrant now, but just that there could be other requests coming before us in future years to have their roads accepted that don't meet the standards.
Through the chair, I will mention that at the same time we are evaluating private roads that appear to have been getting continued services that should have only been given to public roads. We did reach out to a few other subdivisions that were similar, like Echo Brook, Maple Ave. I can't remember, I think there was one others, and they have not approached anybody about becoming a public road yet.
Through the chair, what I would add to that is that Pine Island Road is an example of one that will be coming before us. So we should look at Osceola Drive as the proverbial canary in the coal mine, that this is coming. And I've had multiple other residents of similar streets that have approached me asking, how did you do that and what did you do? So great news, as part of our citizen petition, we're also requesting a non-binding resolution for the select board to take up a town-wide re-evaluation of other roads similar to Osceola or Pine Island that should be accepted by the town to restore things like plowing services where they otherwise were, removed in the last couple of years. But yeah, there are more coming. And oh, by the way, the precedent has already been set in 2015.
Okay, and since this is a public hearing, maybe we should open to the public now?
Yeah. Should we go to the next two? Do we have presentation for those two?
Oh, I guess
Anyone
there could be public comment is what I mean on this topic.
Butters for each road were notified at the hearing.
Oh, great. Anyone wants to make any public comment on this? Please come forward or on Zoom.
There's no hands on Zoom.
Nothing?
Okay, I just wanted to check, because if people came, I would like to hear them.
Good point, yeah. Should we move to the next
The next road?
next road, Linden Street? Do we have any presenter for that? Yeah, DPW, please.
I did provide some slides. I don't know if they made available to you. So Linden Road, we are proposing to make it a public road. We are doing a water main improvement project on East Main Street. And when we were looking at that project and the age of the water system in and around that area, we wanted to include Linden Street in that project, discovered it was a private road, but it has public water, which is the difference between Osceola, which has no public utilities. It doesn't have water or sewer on there. So in order to do the water main project, the replacement project, we would be damaging the road. So we would need some kind of legal authorization to do that also. So that was in the best interest of the town to accept it as a public road at that point. There have been some emergency flooding issues that the town has had to respond to on that road in the past too. And there was some desire to improve emergency response by putting a fire hydrant at the end of the road because it doesn't currently meet those standards. So that would all be done as part of this project. If it is not voted on and is not approved of this as a town road, we would take this portion out of that project, leave it as a private road, and then the abutters would be responsible for upgrading the water when they need to at the future.
This one does not have any additional cost involved, is what you are?
The costs would be included in the East Main Street water main project, which is also at annual town meeting for funding.
Right, so no additional cost, but it's already covered with this.
No additional costs associated directly with the street acceptance.
And would you recommend this, or do you have any opinion on this particular one?
Yes, DPW is recommending it and sponsoring it.
And Planning Board also recommended this?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Mr. Davush?
No, but if the residents would like to speak, I'd be happy to hear from them.
Anyone from Yep, go ahead.
I would. Parker have 3 Osceola.
Parker.
One more thing.
Parker, no, I'm sorry, through the chair. You cannot monopolize the entire public forum. I can see 4+ of my neighbors over there who would like the same opportunity to have a discussion.
Let's do this. Do we have other public speakers who want to speak on this topic. Maybe they'll get the precedence, and then we can come back to you. Anyone want to step forward? Please come on over.
Just one hand on Zoom as well.
My name is Kevin O'Leary. This is what I read today in Rush. And
Thank you.
I'm a trustee of a piece of property at the corner of
We can share.
Linden Street and Curtis Road. And although I left my glasses in my truck, I'll struggle to read this to you. This letter is submitted in accordance, or in opposition, I'm sorry, to acceptance of Linden Street by the town for two primary reasons. One, the O'Leary Family Irrevocable Trust ownership extends to the center line of Linden Street through operation of the derelict fee statute of the state. The second point is an old storm drain line in Curtis Road encroaches onto 11 Curtis Road and permanently submerges, or I'm sorry, perennially submerges the area with floodwaters and other several properties on Linden Street. Neither the storm drain line nor the existing water mains in Curtis Road and Linden Street are plotted on the October 7, 2025 draft copy of the street acceptance plan provided by the town engineer. I wonder if that's been updated, if the plan has been updated. It was lacking a lot of detail. And for the board's information, Linden Street's only about 10 or 12 feet wide, traveled way width. The old railroad bed layout from the 1870s is 66 feet wide. So there's room to expand the pavement, but the information that the board's been given, to my knowledge, from the October 7th, 2025 plan doesn't show any of this stuff. It just shows the layout and, skimpy details. Next paragraph. I provided a sketch plan in that letter based on GIS information to show the approximate drain line location. Oh, I'm sorry, there is a drain line in Curtis Road. It was built in the early 1950s. It conveys water from the back of East Main Street, down behind a couple properties, across the road, across a couple more properties, onto 11 Curtis Road, and then discharges into the layout of Linden Street, and then continues flowing in an easterly direction on the northerly sideline of Linden Street, where it crosses, I think it's number 8 Linden Street, and then heads in the southerly direction towards Legacy Farms. I guess with respect to the derelict fee statute, the property owner and developer or subdivider of both the Curtis Road and Linden Street house lots deeded the lots using Curtis Road and formerly New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad layouts as the front boundary of each house lot on Linden Street. The prior owners of the land, formerly New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad, did not reserve ownership in any of the house lots' deeds. This, by operation of the derelict fee statute, the owners of the land abutting the private way, Linden Street, took title to the center line, subject to other rights to pass and repass on the layout. It can't reasonably be disputed per the derelict fee statute that O'Leary Family Irrevocable Trust owns up to the center line of Linden Street under Mass law and owns derelict fee. Ownership of a private way grants legal standing of challenge development on such land.
Thank you. So, hold on to that thought. I would like to hear from our planning board and DPW director if they want to respond to your question. But before I do that, Elaine, it's time for our next public hearing. What is the procedural way to defer that?
You could open the next hearing and then continue that to the conclusion of this hearing.
Okay. I'll open the next hearing, which is public hearing on flammable license 5 Parkwood Drive. The Select Board will hold a public hearing on the application for a license for the storage of flammable and combustible liquids, solids, and gas pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 148, Section 13, submitted by NMRVTY LLC for the storage of 1,920 gallons of flammable liquids and 12,480 gallons of combustible liquids. The property is located at 5 Parkwood Drive, as shown on Assessor's Map R23, Lot 11-0. So that public hearing is open now, but we'll get to it after we finish this public hearing. Is that right? Okay, thank you. So I would defer to Ms. Curry if you want to respond to that.
I'm not exactly sure which, all the questions you want me to respond to. So the first one, what you have before you is a layout plan. It does not include all the utilities. It's not, an engineered plan for the engineering for the water. So it doesn't include all the utilities. So I agree with that. It's a layout plan for the public street acceptance. It's a different plan that you would use for the engineering. I'd agree. It does not include, there is a culvert underneath this private road. It's a culvert. It's not part of the municipal separate storm sewer system. It would be accepted as part of the road if the road were to be accepted, and then the town would take on responsibility for long-term maintenance of it. I believe it is a culvert that serves an intermittent stream, so it would also probably need to get some approvals from Conservation Commission for any kind of work that was done to that. And then the rest of the questions about the title, that would have to be answered by town council.
Thank you. Planning board, anything to weigh in? Okay, thank you. Comments from the board?
I don't think so, but I'm just hoping some of these questions could be resolved by town meeting. Maybe we could get more information.
Well, and through the chair, I'm struggling to understand how this was evaluated at planning board if there is a discrepancy on title.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
We're essentially being confronted here with the discrepancy on title in which there is a claimant showing that there is a reasonable dispute and discrepancy around potential ownership of the land such that we are likely going to need to confer with town council. I am struggling to understand why this is before us with a recommendation from the planning board when there is an open title issue. This was not highlighted by you. Why?
So this is me taking off my...
I don't want a planning board hat. I'm asking a specific question to the planning board representative here, not you, through the chair. I would like to understand why this has been presented to us as a yes recommendation with an open title discrepancy.
Thank you, Mr. Kessler. So I would like to hear from the planning board.
He just asked me to.
And planning board member here.
Sure. So the simple answer is the Subdivision Authorization Act of 64 allowed and dictates how land was supposed to be laid out, for and how subdivisions are to be, approved. And there are what are called ancient ways. And so roads that were established before that are subject to the old law, which basically stated what the gentleman here states, that the abutting properties own up to 50% in the middle of the road. Now, the town is part of the process of this, project that's going to Endeavor. It has to do what's called the taking, and Manager Lazarus could probably speak in more specificity to that. But it is part of that taking of the land that the ownership no longer belongs to the trust and therefore the resident, and they would no longer own up to 50% of the road. So he is indeed correct that today he does own 50% of the road, but as part of the administrative bureau and procedural process to effectively take that land and make it a public road, it would then no longer be his. So that's the process.
Thank you, Mr. Happ. And just quick follow-up. Did this question come up in the planning board meeting, and did you get to talk to the council?
I don't believe we talked to council on that. No.
It did not. Okay.
It did come up. It did come up at the public hearing for the planning board. I brought it up.
Yeah, please.
If I may just add.
Right.
That if the town takes the right-of-way and it's owned by others, the town has to compensate people.
And has that been done? And has that been done in this case?
No, it would be done if the town meeting decided to accept the road and we went forward with the taking, we would have to compensate.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But that's very different than through the chair. That's very different than a private way being recognized as a public way if there is a...
Makes it more complicated.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Through the chair, the planning board discussed this matter, but that was under administrative item. That was not the public hearing. Planning board chair allowed Kevin's comments at that time, but planning board reviewed under administrative item, so we cannot.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Anyone? Thank you. We'll check to see if anyone else wants to speak on this topic.
There's a hand raised on Zoom.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Hare. Missed you. Sorry.
So, Carrie, were you aware of this potential ownership issue prior to endorsing this article for town meeting?
Yeah.
You were. And has town council reviewed this prior to tonight?
Yes.
And town council's not concerned?
And you'd have to ask town council or the town manager's office, but no concerns were brought up to me that would stop this from potentially being accepted as a town road.
I mean, there's the process. If the town decides that it's worth it, then it could accept the road and pay the compensation, or people could choose to donate their land.
What if a landowner did not want to have it either taken or donate? What happens then?
It would be an eminent domain taking. It would be a taking. Town would have to compensate. So it would be complicated. It would take time and money.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hare. Anyone else? Anyone else from?
There's a hand raised on Zoom. Oh,
Yeah. Anyone else from public in the room? Oh, please.
That's most of Linden Street. Come up, Dave. I don't know if my neighbors would all, I'm Peter Mezzett with 10 Linden Street.
Thank you.
I don't know if my neighbors would all agree, but I think, it's the worst road in town. It's really in rough shape. And it's causing a lot of damage to the plowing equipment that the town has to enlist to plow the street. And they're constantly coming in there to fix things, including the water, including the pavement. Seems to me that the money worth repaving it would offset a lot of those ongoing costs that we've seen year after year. So, I mean, I speak for myself when I say I would definitely donate and not go through this whole eminent domain process, but I can let others talk too.
So I'm Carolyn Ball, 5 Linden Street. I've owned my property for 18 years. I love Linden Street. It's quiet. It's a dead-end road off of a dead-end road. It is 1 lane wide. There's, 8 houses on it? The spring is an adventure when the water comes. That storm drain referenced by Mr. O'Leary is rough. It's in rough shape. I was personally in the gully next to my house scooping mud out of that drain because the water gets so bad in the spring. I would love the town to start maintaining this road.
Thank you. Thank you both. Anyone else in the room? We'll go to the Zoom. Anyone from the Zoom wants to speak on this topic?
Yep, it's Connor. He's on.
Connor, please go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
A little louder would be better.
Can you hear me okay at this point?
Yes.
Oh, Connor Deegan, 48 Hillcrest Drive. I was not really intending to speak this evening. I just wish to say something as a private citizen, and that was that I definitely have concerns around the proposal of acceptance of Osceola. My concern is that this is somewhat evident to me that it's circumventing the normal process, and the process even that was laid out when the planning board worked with the residents of Osceola to try and address this fact in the first part incrementally by changing the conditions on their special permit. My concern is partially because it is in most cases that we've stuck by in the town to have in most cases builders, developers, but in some cases it's homeowners associations and others that have to deal with getting these roads up to some standard, as Director Reed explained as well. But my concern here is also that we're dealing with a serious budget crisis at this point. And I have a great concern that as much as as Kerry said, we might only be looking at $170,000 for getting this up to snuff. And I would be the first to, if it was up to the standard, to vote to make it a public way, because I think that extending those services to everywhere in the community is important. But we don't have the resources and the money right now to be really considering this. We're struggling to find things to remove from budget proposals at this point. And it's just not realistic for us to be looking at taking on a large project when we're going to be kicking the can down the road on streets that need paving that we already own. But again, I just really wanted to express that. Again, I'm not against moving towards accepting Osceola. I think that we should work with the residents towards an acceptance plan, but this is premature. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Connor. Anyone else online?
No.
Yeah. Through the chair, I would note I also get water on that road, and I would let my neighbor know just because the town has accepted your road doesn't mean they're going to repair it. You can walk down to my house and verify that for yourself.
All right. We'll move to the last one, Whisper Way. Do we have anyone? Scary. Yeah, please go ahead.
Aneri Patel, Principal Planner, through the chair. Whisper Ways 2019 approved subdivision planning board. They recently completed their entire subdivision. Planning board engineer and DPW did inspection recently on March 17. There were a few items which applicant addressed that, and they are ready for acceptance. Planning board recommending acceptance, Whisper Way as a public road.
Thank you. And I think DPW did not recommend earlier as part of the meeting documents. Is that correct?
So yes, like in the first place after the inspection, DPW also had some concerns, but applicant addressed those, and they are complying with DPW standards and planning board subdivisions and stormwater standards, so they are ready for street acceptance.
Thank you. That's very helpful. From the board, Mr. Dabush?
Yeah, so just to clarify, we expect all these items can be taken care of before, the few items that are left can be taken care of before town meeting?
Applicant already addressed that, so
They have already been
Yes.
addressed? No, okay, but not before we got our packet? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kiz, you want to wait and let Mr. Hare go first this time? He's always been last.
I feel lost over here sometimes. Who was the original developer for Whisper Way, please?
It's 20th Century Home. I'm not sure they are here.
This Meyer Holmes Lane?
No, and the Nations.
Oh, this is Nations, okay. All right, I'm good, thanks.
Mr. Kiz?
I'm all set.
I just had one follow-up question. Considering all three, is the only one that would incur cost to the town is the Osceola Drive and about $170K per year for maintenance?
Through the chair, yes.
Thank you. Nothing further. Do we have any public comments from the room? Mr. Happ, please keep it brief. We are closing it.
Just want to correct that question. So acceptance of Osceola as part of the citizen petition would not add additional cost to the town, because the citizen petition itself states that until town meeting at a future date, as approved by the normal capital approval process, only until then would there be additional cost to the town. And today, if you look at the cost of what it is to plow the roads, it would be a negligible cup of coffee, a week, if you will, cost to be able to support it. So to that extent, it does not add additional costs as part of the citizen petition, and it would not in the next 2 fiscal years until town meeting went through an approval process. And as Mr. Kisner accurately pointed out, just because a town road needs to be repaired doesn't mean it is, and just because a town road isn't in perfect repair doesn't mean you suspend plowing or trash services. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Happ. I think we can move to the vote.
So, Mr. Chair, we would close the public hearing next, I think. Right. But I would have one more question, if I could, please, with Mr. O'Leary, if you wouldn't mind. So I understand that there's a question about ownership of the land. Is the concern around the compensation for ownership of the land, or you just don't want anything touching that land?
Oh, he has to come to the mic.
Yeah, I'm sorry, if you could. I'm all for the land's rights. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, Curtis Road was developed in the 1950s. The railroad was 1870. Linden Street is on the old railroad bed layout. I can't ever remember any substantial infrastructure upgrades in Curtis Road. There's no drainage catch basins. It all flushes down from East Main Street and finds its way onto different properties down near the Linden Street intersection.
Yes.
There's a drain pipe that I show, a sketch in my letter that I submitted. That's 1950s, it's corrugated metal, it's, as soon as they start digging the water main, they're gonna go through that, and then there's another culvert down there in Miss Ball's house that's at the same elevation where you would install a water main. So it's kind of lack of planning for a water main. Hurry up, let's get it done and worry about the other stuff later. We want it more thought out. We want to work with the town.
You're okay doing this, but you want to do it in the proper, what you perceive to be the proper way.
Right,
Okay,
correct. We're willing to work with the town, but it's,
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. Thank you. Anything else from the board, anyone?
No, through the chair, I would just echo this. The lots on my street are an absolute disaster. They were very much drawn in the way he's describing, and land was exchanged among families in the 50s and 60s. It's a scene.
And, yeah. More funding? Yeah, please.
I just want to point out, if you're not aware, that there is another article on town meeting for the funding for the water main project.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to...
Including this area.
Yes.
Thank you.
I was going to say we need to fund DPW more to fix many things, but that's for later. Any other comments from the board or public? If not, let's close the public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All that are in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The motion carries 4-0. The public hearing for street acceptance is closed. Do we want to take the vote first on this, perhaps, before we move the next one?
I do have a question, too. Are we required to make a recommendation on these articles, or?
Yes, so you're required to make a recommendation and to, if you're recommending yes, to lay out the street. Without that vote, a town meeting vote is not binding.
Okay. And do we have to do it, tonight, or?
It could be done next meeting also.
Okay.
So do we prefer doing it tonight?
Well, I think the Whisper Way seems to be all said, so I'm certainly comfortable with that one.
Same.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
We're essentially, I think there's some, I won't speak for Amy, I have some concern now hearing about where Linden is as well, about whether we can vote on that tonight. I won't speak for where the board is on Osceola. It seems like Amy is in a position on Whisper. That was where I think we largely were as well. Are you suggesting maybe breaking the two of them out to vote on?
Yeah, I thought maybe we should vote them separately, or perhaps delay some till next time.
So Osceola and Whisper together and Linden separately. Is that what I'm hearing?
But it wouldn't be the
actually
same
saying one at a
recommendation.
time,
One at a time.
Let's do one at a time.
There's 3 articles at town meeting. I think we should do 3 votes.
Okay, I'm with you.
I would move to recommend that the annual town meeting vote to accept Whisper Way for public ways and to authorize the select board to acquire by gift, purchase, or eminent domain any land or interest or land accessory for such laying out.
Second.
This is Linden.
Whisper.
Whisper Way.
Whisper, I'm sorry.
Last one. All those are in, any discussion?
I'm good.
All those are in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
I'm an aye.
Okay. Motion carries 4-0. Do we have a motion for Osceola Drive?
Just wanted to repeat that, so if the board doesn't vote favorably, it can't be favorably voted at town meeting.
But we could wait until the next meeting if we felt like we would have more information next time. Are we feeling like we would have more information next time?
Are we going to get more information on Osceola, though?
I don't think so.
Are we waiting any other?
I don't think there's any additional information.
No information.
In particular?
Okay.
So for Osceola, whether we vote or not, it is going to the town meeting.
No.
We have to vote for the town meeting first.
It will be on the warrant, but town meeting vote wouldn't have any effect because you haven't voted to lay out the street.
So we could stop Osceola right here.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then there's an argument about, the folks have gone through the process to get a citizen's petition before town meeting. We're a town meeting form of government.
Yep.
Not a select board form of government.
You're where I am on this one.
I would move that we approve Osceola Drive to be considered by the, do I have to give a proper motion here? Can I do my own motion? To be considered by town meeting.
Town council motion?
Yeah, that's boring. All right, let's do that.
The motions are...
I move to recommend that the annual town meeting vote to accept Osceola Drive as and for public way and to authorize the select board to acquire by gift, purchase, or eminent domain any land or interest in land necessary for such laying out.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further comments?
Yeah, just quickly, I think there has been a point well raised by both Brian and Parker tonight that we need to have a game plan for this moving forward. I do appreciate that this is likely the first of many. I'm not worried about setting precedent so much as I am pretending that this will not continue to occur. So no matter what we do on this one, let's at least have a think in the background, maybe as a future item about how we want to approach.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna. Any other comments? Yeah, I think we want to give it, my opinion is we want to give it an opportunity at the town meeting and let the town decide. So I would support it for this round. We'll take a vote. All those are in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I'll vote yes. I'm just a little reluctant, but town meeting will get to decide.
And we get to explain our position.
Correct.
Any nays? Motion carries 4-0. We'll move to the last one.
I'd like to suggest waiting on Linden Street, just given some of the conversation that we had today. This does feel like the one that potentially we might have additional information next time. And I promise to do a little work talking to my neighbors and maybe do some of my job to understand where they're coming from.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna.
Do we need a motion to wait, or?
Want to move it to the next meeting, potentially?
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think we might have more information. But,
All right.
I'd be very interested in hearing from town council at the next meeting as to what their view is. And, you know, I think I heard this evening, people are willing to work with the town if we do this, but let's get a little bit more understanding what we're going to do. Like, what would be the plan, right?
Yep.
Do we have to have a vote to postpone this vote since it was in a public hearing?
No, we still have time at the next meeting to make a
All right.
recommendation.
All right, so we'll move it to the next meeting. I think now we can. We close this public hearing, so now we'll move to the next public hearing discussion. And I think.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Anyone want to speak on this item? Flammable license, 5 Parkwood Drive. Hello.
Hello, my name is Sarah Lyons. I'm here on behalf of the owner of the building and the prospective tenant moving in case there were any questions or anything you wanted to talk further about with this application.
Thank you. Do we have questions from the board? Mr. Dabush?
I guess I'd just like to get a little bit more explanation about exactly what you'll be doing with the flammable license, and that our emergency staff had recommended approval.
Absolutely. So the flammable license is kind of the initial gateway to then bring flammable and combustible materials into the building. So the idea here is that we're applying to have kind of the maximum amount in the building, but that flammable license is just the gateway. So a flammable permit will need to be sought that more realistically breaks down what can be in the building. So you kind of start with this initial flammable license step where we're going to go for the maximum so that we don't need to keep coming back to this board to keep, going up or down slightly. And then the flammable permit will come that really reflects the actual amount of material that will be in the building and will be in use.
Thank you. On that note, do you mind giving a little more context for everyone and the residents? What is this about? Why do you need to do this? And what are the measures you have taken?
Absolutely. So to break it kind of all the way down, in the building code, there are requirements that have been put in place to make sure that buildings are being built safely and operated safely. So in this case, there are what we can call control areas that have been built out into the building. So what that is kind of a fire-rated separation that compartmentalizes the buildings, that different amounts of chemicals can be kept in each one, where if a fire were to start, they could kind of safely be taken care of in one compartment without it kind of spreading across many, which increases the amount of chemicals that you can have in the building, but helps to maintain kind of that smaller compartment so that it's not a full building fire and lots of chemicals inside. There's different levels of storage that will be used in the facility that helps to kind of keep we'll use like flammable cabinets. There's different types of ventilation, all kinds of things. The building was designed in accordance with the building code and NFPA 45. which are kind of two of the main standards when it comes to safely designing a building that's going to be using flammable and combustible liquids.
Thank you. And
What is the nature of the business, please? What type of business is going to be operated there?
The folks from Revity can answer that a little better than I can.
Please.
please come in.
Hello. So in that building, we will be manufacturing research reagents. We sell to pharmaceutical companies, we sell to research institutions. Those are our main customers. So we make reagents and chemicals that assist them with their research.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Kisner?
I love it. Bulk CMO manufacturing for pharmaceuticals is happening in my town. I'm actually probably going to recuse myself on this one, having said that, just because I technically work in industry, and while I feel like this is wildly not adjacent to me, I can keep my powder dry. So I'm going to step out for this one.
So, quick questions. One is this the first time you're doing this? We didn't have to approve it before for this facility, is that right?
Correct. We are in Boston right now at 549 Albany Street, and we're moving that facility to Hopkinton, which is already existing Revity facility.
Thank you. And I would ask Town Manager, have we done it with the fire department?
Yes, so for the flammable license, so not only do they need a license from the Select Board, they also need a permit from the fire department, and there's an annual registration with the town clerk. So Gary County Fire Department should be on the...
Yeah, I see Mr. Doherty here, if you want to join us.
And just wanted to add that the licenses are granted for the land and not to an individual.
Thank you.
This particular type of license.
Hello, Chief. Yeah,
Good evening.
You want to give us a brief on that?
One thing I wanted to just say is that the plan that they presented was actually done by a third-party fire protection engineer. So they actually went out on their own, brought in an engineer to actually design this plan. They brought the whole fire alarm, the whole system up to code. They've actually added some things that weren't required in the fire code that we requested. And one thing you got to consider is even though it looks like a big number, these chemicals will be spread out throughout that whole building in different labs.
Thank you. And do you think from the fire department you feel comfortable?
Yes, because the third party that they went out and used is somebody that the town would actually recommend. And we use them on a lot of our big projects.
Thank you. Any other question, comment?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think after all the questions, I'm all set now, too.
Right. Any question, comment from the public inside the room? Anyone from online? Any questions? Hearing none, I think we can move to close the public hearing and then go for voting.
I move to close the public hearing on the flammable license.
Second.
We'll take vote. All that are in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 3-0.
So I would move to approve a license for the storage of a total of 1,920 gallons of flammable liquids and 12,480 gallons of combustible liquids located at 5 Parkwood Drive.
Mr. Hare?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All that are in favor?
Aye.
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 No nays. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all. Good luck.
We'll move to our next agenda. We certainly lost almost 30 minutes behind a little bit. The next one in the agenda is common victualler. Oh, we'll need a quorum.
Oh, we need Matt. Can you tell Matt he can come back, though? Do you want to get Matt?
Thank you. Our next agenda is common victualler license renewal. The Select Board will consider renewing the annual common victualler licenses for Aramark at Dell at 176 South Street and 228 South Street. All inspections have been satisfactorily completed. Ms. Lazarus, you want to update us?
Yes, so this license renewal has been continued since December. And at this point, the applicant, Market Bill, has completed all of the required inspections and so forth that are necessary for the redevelopment.
Thank you. I know it's Mr. Kizner's favorite, so I'll start with him.
On which topic, I'm sorry?
The common victualler license for...
This is the last of Delaware Mark, correct?
Last two.
No, just, I'm not sure if Del is here, but if they are, thank you. They have been incredibly patient and engaged with us in really good faith here. So thank you to them and to the town for being patient while we implemented the new check.
Thank you. Mr. Hurd?
All set.
Mr. Debush?
No, I'm all set. I'm glad they got all of the equipment they need now for the safety lights.
I'm glad we finally got to close this. Hopefully this exercise will help us move faster the next time. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the victualler license.
I move to renew the common victual license for Aero Market Dell at 176 South Street and 228 South Street.
Second.
We'll take a vote, voice vote. All that are in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carries 4-0. We'll move to the next public hearing. Actually, we are a little late, sorry. The public hearing for general bylaw amendments. The Select Board will hold a public hearing on proposed amendments to the general bylaws, which will be considered at the 2026 annual town meeting. I hereby open the public hearing. Mr. Azars, do you want to give us an overview?
So there was an order in the handout for the hearings, but if Carrie is still here, no, she had to go to another meeting. She may come back. So Gary Doherty would then be first to talk about the fire alarm bylaw change.
Thank you. Mr. Doherty? I think he may not be here.
Was here.
Do you have any other speakers for this?
Yes, we could move to, we could talk about some of the select board articles, or we could go to the temporary repairs on private ways with Parker Half. Is Parker still here?
I think he also.
You may have left as well.
He may have left, yeah.
We swept them out with the Lindens.
What was the other topic, sorry? The grant of location?
So next would be the Municipal Aggregation Revolving Fund. And this is one that's sponsored by the Select Board. This new revolving fund would hold the operational adder funds that are received by the town from the Municipal Aggregation Program. The town is required to spend these funds on purposes related to the program, which are energy-related program expenses. So the revolving fund is the mechanism for holding these funds aside rather than having them go into the general fund.
Are we going to take that one up right now?
Yeah.
I'm going to recuse myself.
Well
Yep,
played.
yep. Energy, thank you. So we'll entertain comments. Ms. Kizner?
Nope, this feels like accounting to me more than it feels like a change of practice, which was my concern. It sounds as though we're essentially just ensuring the clean transfer and use of the funds and not necessarily altering or enhancing allocations. That was what I really wanted to understand. That was nicely explained, Elaine. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Debush?
Yeah, we've reviewed this before we put it on the warrant, so I don't think I have any questions, but if members of the public have questions, happy to hear them.
I'll open, we are already open, so any member of the public wants to make any comments from the room, in the room? Please. I'm sorry?
On the whole document or on the specific bylaw?
Right now on this specific bylaw. Thank you. Yeah, please go ahead.
Jeff Rowland, speaking as chair of Sustainable Green Committee. Just wanted to say that overall the SGC is in favor.
Thank you. Yeah, I think to my colleague Mr. Kizner's comment, it's accounting, but it's also nice to see that we are moving forward with the aggregate plan. That's a certainly positive thing. So I'm good with this. Any other comments or questions?
I was just thinking maybe we should do the other one about Green Committee stuff, the municipal electric vehicle charging next.
Be smart. He's out of the room.
Yeah.
We're extending Brian's
come back? Yeah.
We're extending Brian's recusal.
We have two more.
So the next one is a new revolving fund that would hold fees and charges received by the town from use of a municipal EV charger. It's hoped that we will be installing one in FY27, so we're trying to get ahead of that and have something set up. How much will be there and how it comes in, we won't know until we're working with a company who's installing the charger and so forth. But the intent is to have the funds go for repair and maintenance of the charger.
Thank you. I can't wait to see more chargers. Mr. Rowland, comments?
SGC is also in favor, but I do want to elaborate. We're not talking about one charger. We're talking about a lot of chargers all throughout town, mostly funded through grants. We're talking about across the street at 25 to 35 in the municipal lot. We're talking about where the police station, although those won't necessarily be public, DPW, a whole bunch of ones at Marathon, the ones at Marathon are getting upgraded, adding one at the HHS HCA lot, and I'm forgetting some. Hopkins Elementary is also adding a number of chargers.
Awesome. How many altogether?
I would have to double check on that, but quite a few, far more than we have now.
That's great. Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, just through the chair, maybe to Elaine, this one had caught my eye because I wanted to understand what percentage of funds we are anticipating basically is lost to maintenance. I love this from a green perspective, clear commitment to town goals. I have zero concerns there. To me, this is more about just understanding how much of this is just maintenance versus what is also passed through value to the community above and beyond the commitment to green.
So town has a goal to install these chargers, and we're trying to do it for a number of years, and thanks to SGC and others, we're getting close. But these will be publicly available chargers for the most part, except perhaps one at the police station.
Okay.
But the arrangement with whoever installs them, there'll be some fees or charges coming to the town. We don't know how much, but we do know that the chargers over time need repair and maintenance, and we don't budget for that. It'd be great if we could defray the cost.
So that was the other question I was about to ask, is what made us think that we should budget uniquely for this? Because there's an argument to be made that this is ostensibly just maintenance of DPW equipment.
It's a little bit different than the equipment we currently have.
Of course. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend it's not more complex. I'm trying to tease at the issue of why this one? Why is this one special relative to the other things which we challenge to be maintained through the normal operational funds?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, we've talked about using revolving funds to repair police cruisers. That's also on the list, to do other things. So
You're getting at the heart of where I'm going, which is I fear that we are becoming overly prescriptive and specific in how we are allocating and using these. And I worry that we are starting to lose the plot a little bit from a department head perspective, where the budget is no longer being allocated by a department head because we've carved the elephant in so many different revolving fund ways that it's all being sub-allocated through other means. So I can see good intention here. I won't challenge further. It is very consistent with town goals and ambitions. But to the other members of the board, I do think we need to have a broader conversation about the revolving funds. I don't want it to become a candy store for us.
Thank you, Mr. Guzman. Mr. Ritterbusch?
No, I don't think I have any further questions. I appreciate the information, and I understand the necessity.
Through the chair. One comment the SGC did have was we wondered if this one was flexible enough in terms of if there's more funds than necessary to maintain the chargers that we install, can we use the funds, say, to install more chargers?
it can only be used for what's stated in the bylaw that's adopted. So right now, I think it just says repair and maintenance.
So maybe
That might be now.
maybe we'll see in the future just how things progress and make a change in a couple of years.
And just to comment and add to that, I think the purpose also is served that this kind of specifically focus on a particular policy and a particular mission. So it's funded for the near or foreseeable future. And we do that with water, we do that with few others, right? The goal is the same, that we want very laser beam focus on a particular issue and promote in resolving or advancing that cause through proper, we'll find it's never enough, but through proper funding. So it's a balancing act. I do think the revolving fund initially at its early stage makes sense because it'll again advance the cause even if it adds a few dimes. But point taken, I think my colleague also made a good point that we don't want to continue to slice and dice too much, but I do think these are for good reasons. Just my comments on that. Any other questions, comments?
Was there one other one?
I think we covered the ones that are related to.
Okay.
Is there another one?
Nope, I just wanted.
There are two more.
No,
One
but
is
but
the-
Brian
We're making sure Brian can come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Jeff. Mr. Herr.
do we need to vote on those before we summon Brian back, or do you want to have the conversation afterwards?
Oh, that,
We don't have to vote on them at all. Oh, bon.
all right, so we'll move to the other items. New bylaw, use of,
I see Gary
There's
here.
someone here for the police department revolving fund also, and we have Gary this year.
oh, okay, yep. Please come forward.
Hi, Cindy Johnston, Town Accountant. So I'll just give you a little brief history. Last spring, I did a thorough reconciliation of the Police Detail Agency Fund. There was a lot of intermingling of different fees that went into this agency fund. That wasn't the best accounting. So my recommendation was to identify, isolate, and properly account for the other fees being collected. So that agency fund should only be pulling in the money received to cover the actual police detail hours, because that is what the detail officers are being paid from. So technically, it's supposed to just be an in and out, even reconciliation. And that wasn't happening. And it was happening for a very long time, but fees such as admin fees and cruiser fees were going in there too. So every year, it wasn't reconciling to what the AR was, the balance was on their software, which is DTS. So I did a thorough reconciliation. My recommendation was to pull out those two charges that should not be being used into the agency fund. In discussions with the chief and the deputy chief, in just my experience with other cities and towns, they will use that money to purchase cruises, and they just let it accumulate till they can have enough money to purchase it. Now, obviously, immediately you can see the benefit that you don't need to every year have a capital purchase from free cash for a cruiser, because you're actually using the money that you collected for cruiser fees. With the admin fees, it should have been going already into the revolving fund, and it wasn't. It was going in the agency fund. However, the revolving fund was set up to pay for the software every year. Up until this year, there was enough of a balance accumulated to be paying this invoice every year. FY26, there isn't, because no money was going in, but the bill was being paid every year. So really, this request is just for more transparent accounting, to use the agency fund for what it's meant for, which is an in and out and nothing else, and also to use the opportunity to find a clear way of funding replacement cruises. And using the revenue from the cruiser rental is something that's very widely done among other cities and towns.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Comments from the board, Mr. Har?
No comments. Elaine, have you had a chance to take a look at this, and could you share your thoughts about it, please?
I think it's a great idea. It solves an accounting problem and directs the funds where I think they're supposed to go and what they're needed for.
Okay, thank you. I'm good.
Mr. Kisner?
Boss says happy math. I love happy math. I'm doing this one too.
Mr. Dabush?
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to figure this out and that it needs to be done differently. I did find it a little confusing to hear, so maybe for town meeting, we could present it a little more clearly about what did it used to say and be used for, and what it's going to be, the changes for now, if we had a slide comparing the two. So that, but I definitely like that it being cleaned up, when it's very clear what money's going in and what is coming out. So.
Sure, I can get that prepared for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just had one question. Have we done any projections, how much the revenue is going to be and how much of the maintenance can be actually realistically covered? based on this revolving fund?
Yeah, so admin fees, typically, they bring in about 20 to 25,000. Cruiser fees, much, much less. And I have had a conversation with the police administration. Honestly, I think two things need to happen. Number one, the cruiser fees have to go up. They're really low. They haven't been changed in, I guess, decades. And number two, I think there's too many exemptions for cruiser fees. And so with those two recommendations, obviously you would see a much higher increase, but right now what they actually collect annually on cruiser fees is very low.
Gotcha. And what's our maintenance cost like?
The maintenance bill for software, I believe, is about 16,000.
Okay, so it can actually cover quite.
Yeah, and it's a very good software, definitely well worth the money.
Makes sense. No, I like the model. Thank you for explaining. I think, yeah, I have nothing further, and we all are good.
Chief?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I just want to thank Cindy for all her work on this as well.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
I love numbers.
All right. Chief Duarte, do you want to give an overview of the first one, fire alarms, bylaws?
Did we ask for public comment on that last one? I don't see anyone, but.
We did not. Is there any public comment on the last one? The police revolving fund, online or in room?
No, not online.
Hearing none, I think we can move to the next one.
Good evening. At the annual town meeting, I'm just going to be asking to update or amend the fire alarm bylaw. The last time this bylaw was updated was in 2006, so we're about 20 years ago. I'm looking just to address the increasing number of false alarms in town and to encourage proper maintenance. Some of the biggest changes that we're suggesting is in the definitions category. Right now, it lists all the definitions. We want to delete all that and just have it reference the National Code, NFPA 72. That way, when codes change, we don't have to go back and address any of this in the future. Another big change would be in the way we notify businesses. Right now, it says it has to be certified mail. We've reached out with town council. It can be done in writing through email, through an acknowledged account. So we're just trying to speed up that process. As we continue a little bit more, it had a section for fines. After the 4th through 6th, we could fine 250. This one just changes it from 4th and above to 250. And then the last major change would be section 55-13, which we're recommending a total deletion. And that goes back to the town's fire alarm system, which has been removed about 15 years ago. So this isn't even in play. So basically, we're just looking to bring up this bylaw to the 2026.
Thank you, Chief. Questions from the board? Mr. Tabush?
No, this seems pretty straightforward, and I appreciate getting up to date with all the fines and procedures. Yeah.
Mr. Kiesler?
I appreciate this. Best practice, just citing the actual code and standards so that we don't always have to rev. I appreciate you taking us in that direction.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Harris, sorry.
So I, with my colleagues, operate a couple of larger buildings in Hopkinton, and we've had the fire department come out every now and then. It helps us, understand where something's maybe malfunctioning. So I appreciate the fact there's not a charge right up front, but I get that we got to fix it and get on with it, right? So it seems like a reasonable approach for public safety as well as for our businesses in the community.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. I like the amendments. I think it's time and very much justifiable. One quick clarification. All the definitions are crossed out. Is there anything replacing it, or what is the amendment there?
It's going to actually state definitions can be found in the current adopted version of the National Fire Protection Association. NFPA would be Standard 72, titled National Fire Alarm Single Code. So.
Okay, so it'll just refer to that, and we don't have to update every time.
Right, and every time that code changes,
right,
our bylaws technically change. So.
Thank you. Yep, makes sense. Do we have any public comments from the room or in Zoom?
There's
Questions?
none on Zoom.
Hearing none. Thank you, Chief. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. I think we covered all the amendments and all the items on this.
No, we've got some more.
Sorry. We have two major ones. Yep.
Printing.
Yep, 8 and 9.
Can we do driveways, or do we need the DPW director? Or
She did provide some slides.
Which one is next, sorry?
driveways? Second one?
All right, so we'll discuss the amend driveways bylaw, sponsored Director of Public Works. Is Carrie in the room?
She did have to go to a Conservation Commission.
Do you want to give us an overview?
I think Lance can.
Sure. I'm lost.
The second one.
Driveways.
We went a little bit out of sequence.
So Carrie Rita submitted a proposed update to the town's driveway bylaws to modernize some of the standards. It really just provides some clarity to when someone needs to go to the DPW for a driveway permit. For instance, and she says to any person, organization, public agency, or other entity proposing the construction of a new driveway on a public way or modifying an existing driveway with access within the public right-of-way, she'll obtain a driveway permit from the DPW. It's fairly standard common practice from my experience, and it's these driveways, if they're not maintained and regulated in this manner, can pose a public safety hazard if improperly located. Additionally, she separates the technical specifications so they can be updated without having to update the bylaw itself, and references the fire department specifications.
Thank you. Comments and questions from the board, Mr. Hare?
All set.
Mr. Kisner?
Good.
Ms. Ritterbusch?
No, I think I'm all set. Thank you.
I am all set as well, thank you. Any questions or comments from the public in the room or on Zoom?
There's none on Zoom.
All right, we covered that one. We'll move to the next one.
Trails, I think we've not done.
Yep. Trails, and I see our trail friends here. New bylaw, use of trails and shared use paths, sponsor select board. Do you want to come forward, Peter and Mr. News? Thank you.
I assume this is with regard to e-bikes?
No.
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 Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
It is.
Yeah, use of trails and ship, I apologize.
Yes.
I'm just so used to saying
That's
no.
the only one I thought we had, so.
Just reading
Hey there,
it.
Peter, it is.
The use of trails and shared use paths.
Right, so the purpose of this is we are noticing, and I'm sure you all are noticing, increased use of e-bikes, e-scooters, e-whatever, various mobility devices by kids, sometimes, and adults, sometimes wearing helmets, sometimes not. There's a lot of work needs to be done on this. We had a discussion, a couple months back about it, but sort of as a first step, the idea is that we can put a speed limit in effect on the shared use paths. So that's Center Trail, Hughes Trail, those sort of paths. What we want to do is have a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. 10 miles an hour may seem low, but I've been biking at that speed, and it gets you from point A to point B pretty well. The other issue is that 10 miles an hour is something that people can actually kind of get their arms around as to it's a relatively safe speed, as opposed to if you do 15 or 20, that's a lot faster. And if you're, if you're going 15 or if you got a 15 speed limit, someone's probably going to be going 20. If the speed limit is 10 and you're going 15, that's less of a problem as long as you're respectful. The idea is really to start the process, and it's going to be a process of thinking through this issue and working to get safe, responsible use of the trails. At the meetings we've had to discuss this, the issue really comes down to most users are good, responsible users, but this is a way to start the education with folks who maybe aren't going to be quite so responsible as in typically the teenage group.
Thank you. We'll take questions and comments from the board first. Mr. Hare?
Yep. 10 miles per hour, that's a 6-minute pace, Peter?
Yes.
Can you run a 6-minute pace through those trails?
In my youth. I'm not sure I could do it now.
You're not going to be banned from the trails, is what you're saying? I'm fine. I think it's a good idea.
Mr. Edwards?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you putting these together. This will allow you to post speed limit signs, and although it may be difficult to enforce, at least there'll be signs and it'll be clear what the rule is, and so it could be enforced if needed. And let's see, yeah, I think the communication with the public is a really important piece of this, and once we have a rule, we can post the signs and we can spread the word about what the rule is. So I appreciate you taking a look at this. And I noticed that we talked about this, but you made it not device, it's just a speed limit,
Correct.
not a specific device, because the devices,
Correct.
the bikes change over time, the names of them, and.
Yeah, you won't feel, people typically feel just as uncomfortable if somebody blows by them at 30 miles an hour on a road bike on a trail as an e-bike. So, yeah.
Okay, so any device, any mechanical bike or e-bike.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kisner.
Unsurprisingly, I'm on the other side of this one. Are my legs a device? Do you know how fast Usain Bolt runs? He averages 22 miles per hour at his absolute peak.
Right, but Usain Bolt is not running on these trails. I'm not particularly worried about individual. And again,
we're not in a back and forth.
Point?
We're not in a back and forth, sir. I can appreciate, through the chair, I can appreciate that I am making a hyperbolic example. I am making a hyperbolic example because I am concerned about something that has the potential to be perceived as what I would call a nuisance law. There is and I'm looking at our trails and bike guys over there, Mr. Harrow. I remember fondly his presentation at town meeting on the issues of these bike lanes and the gradients and the sloping and how fast it would result in somebody going down Main Street. I think individuals, through no fault of their own, are going to routinely exceed 10 miles per hour on this. I really do not like the idea of putting a bylaw on the books that is subject to consistent salutary neglect and interpretation by the police. That is a recipe for bad feelings in a community that is already struggling with trust issues and applicability of law. I think we have the right intentions here. I am in support of doing something. I am incredibly concerned about how broad of a brush we are choosing to paint with here. I worry we are throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Thank you, Mr. Kisner. Do you want to give any insight to that?
I would disagree with that. I think the key component of this is really education. And as I said, I think most people are going to be responsible. This is a tool to help the police department if there are people knowingly violating this to the point of causing a problem for others, that the police have at least some means of reining those folks in. Hopefully it's more verbally and talking with them, but I think you need to do something, and it's a big issue, and I think this is a relatively simple first step.
Thank you. I have a question, which is, how many towns do we know have anything like this in New England?
It's certainly allowed by the Police Officers Association. That was one of the indications, or one of the reasons we picked this, is because they mentioned that within the state bylaw, within the state laws, which are very limited on e-bikes, one thing you can do on a shared use path is limit the speeds. Right now, e-bikes are not even allowed technically on these trails. So we're doing two things here. We're allowing e-bikes on the trails, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's forward-looking. Right now, they're not supposed to be on there at all, but we're letting them. But we're doing that with some controls on that.
Thank you, that's helpful. And how did you come up with the 10 miles an hour limit?
The 10 miles an hour was based on what seems like a reasonable speed. 5, getting from point A to point V is slow, and to Brian's point and Mr. Kisner's point, obviously most runners, or a lot of runners, can run faster than that. So that is too low. 15, the problem with 15 is that people tend to go a little over speed limits, or that seems to occasionally happen with vehicular drivers. So 15 gets you 20. 10, having biked that speed myself, is a pretty comfortable speed, but you feel like you're moving down the trail pretty well. So it, without trying to pick, 9 miles an hour or 12, 10 seems like a good number. And again, one of the key points here is education. If somebody blows by somebody and that person yells, hey, there's a speed limit, they're more likely to go, oh, right, 10, I got to calm it down a little bit.
Thank you, appreciate it. I think any governance like this is probably needed, and I just don't know what is the right number. Maybe we'll learn through this. And I'm also eager to hear what the town residents come back with, or their feedback and opportunity to weigh in on this. So with that, I'm gonna.
If I could, through the chair, I thought of one other question while other people were asking theirs. It looks to me like this would only apply to trails and shared use paths. So if somebody's biking on a street, they could go over 10 miles an hour and go the speed
Correct.
that the street allows for cars. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then our bike lane downtown, is that a shared use path or is that the street? I guess it's a shared use path, probably.
I think we thought it probably is.
It is.
But they will have to have a public
It
hearing.
would, right, and it would have to be
Have a
public hearing and posted, yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm using that specific example.
Peter, you're going to designate the actual shared use. It's not just a general use.
Right.
You'll designate which ones?
Designate which
Okay.
ones
Yes.
within that band and reference it on our website in case the list changes.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else, Amy?
No.
Anyone else? Mr. Kazan? I would like to open, and I see a lot of hands. Anyone wants to jump in as the first from public speaking?
Peter Redding.
Oh, you
Please come
have
to
to
the
come to the
front.
mic, yeah.
Everyone can hear you.
How many bicycles have a...
Sorry, name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Peter Redding, 164 Winter Street.
Thank you.
How many bicycles have a speedometer?
You have only one question. You may finish your thoughts. And
I do. I mean, I don't know how someone's going to tell whether they're going 10 miles an hour,
Okay,
or
thank you.
12, or 15.
do we have any account for that? Peter, do you want to weigh in?
I don't know percentages, but an awful lot of people monitor their speeds. I do it with my watch. I don't have a speedometer on my bike anymore, but a lot of people do track. And again, 10 miles an hour feels like you're a reasonable speed for moving along. It doesn't, if you're going 15, you're on the shared use paths, you're pushing it a little bit. So it can be a feel thing, but.
But the law could be reckless driving.
I'm sorry, it cannot be
right.
back and forth.
Explain.
It cannot be back and forth. You have to go through the chair. So if you want to express your thoughts in one shot, then we can collect other feedback.
I would say instead of the specific mileage or miles an hour, is just reckless use of a bicycle or e-bike on the trail. That could be identified by someone having to jump out of the road. It's more easily definable than a specific miles per hour.
Thank you. Anyone want to take any feedback on that or any other comment?
Nope.
Thank you. Nicole? Hello.
Hi. Nicole Simpson, 16 Ledgestone Drive. I'm speaking tonight in support of the shared use path bylaw that allows electric mobility devices. Over the past few months, I've had the opportunity to participate in the process of drafting this bylaw and provide input alongside others in the community, both as a member of the Sustainable Green Committee and in personal interest as an e-bike rider. I want to briefly highlight why I believe this bylaw is important. First, it clarifies ambiguity. Right now, there's an absence of clear guidance about where e-bikes are allowed on shared use paths. The lack of clarity leads people to make their own assumptions, riders, pedestrians, and even enforcement. A bylaw gives us a clear, shared understanding and allows the town to communicate expectations through signage and education, rather than confusion. Second, it promotes safety. This is about safety for everyone using our paths. Clear rules help protect pedestrians by defining appropriate use, and they also improve safety for riders by giving them an alternative to sharing the road with cars. We know that tragedies can happen when bikes are forced to share space without a protected barrier. Third, the bylaw provides an enforcement mechanism if it's ever needed. This is not about asking the police to actively patrol paths. It's about having a defined tool available if there are specific incidents or ongoing concerns. Right now, enforcement is difficult because the rules aren't clearly defined. This bylaw fills that gap. Finally, this bylaw helps us work strategically towards expanding safe bike and mobility routes in town, especially to key locations like the schools. It supports people making healthy and sustainable transportation choices and ensures our infrastructure is open to users of varying abilities. E-mobility devices can be especially important for older adults, people with physical limitations, commuters traveling longer distances, and people like me who like to ride with my kids as passengers, without limiting access based on mobility type. Overall, this bylaw provides clarity, improves safety, and supports a more inclusive and forward-looking transportation network for our town. And I'll just add, with an e-bike, mine has a speedometer on it, and I think pretty much all e-bikes do. So maybe not all road bikes, but pretty much all e-bikes are going to have the speed right in front of you. So you're very well aware of how fast you're going.
Thank you. Jeff, I'm not sure who's next first, but let's go with you.
Jeff Rowland, speaking again as chair of the SGC. The SGC reviewed these bylaws last night and also recommends approval of this trails bylaw, primarily because it enables equitable access to the trails, regardless of your means of transit, as long as it's not a car or a truck, and because any off-road use, basically getting people off the roads, is a more sustainable means of getting around. I'll have a more eloquent statement for this prepared for town meeting, but back-to-back nights of meetings. Also, I will note that the SGC also had a discussion about 10 versus 15 miles per hour. We don't have a formal opinion on that, but the discussion continued there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott?
Hi, Scott Naus, 175 Hayden Row Street. I'm the vice chair of the Trails Committee and on the Historical Commission, but I'm here as a resident. I was also part of the committee that the residents that Elaine asked for input here. Just for clarification, tongue-in-cheek, but if Usain Bolt, I know he's up in years, if he became the bionic man, then he would fall into this category, because this is for electronic mobility devices, so not for human. There's nothing about humans in this. A couple things. A lot of question and feedback, especially in our user group, was around enforceability. And I think Nicole, tough act to follow, really hit it home. It's really not necessarily about having, how are we going to enforce it? If you don't have a speed limit posted, there is no speed limit from people's perspective. Secondly, visually posting a speed limit, and I was a big advocate of this in our user group, is it empowers non-e-bike trail users to remind e-bikes if they are in fact over the speed limit. So there's a bit of a neighborhood watch concept here. I'm a user with my young children, and we've had instances on the Upper Charles where e-bikes have zoomed by us and almost knocked my kids off their bikes. So you can, say some kind words and ask them to slow down. Also, people naturally go over speed limits. I mean, someone here tonight had suggested, what good is a speed limit or what have you. We all feel like there's a comfort zone when we drive in our cars, perhaps, and we say, okay, so are we going to say you're at 10.5 miles an hour in violation? No, but there's this comfort level in terms of temperature, safety, conditions, things like that. So I think that's important to keep in mind. It's a guideline, hopefully enforceable to an extent. And then it's not as much about the ability to enforce, but having the option to enforce. I think that's also, and someone here used a good word, it's really the abusers and the people that are reckless. Those are the people we're trying to control, no matter what age or how they're using it is the most important thing. We want them to be responsible. And then lastly, a speed limit helps manage town liability. I'm no lawyer, but I would think that's a significant help for the town. If we're allowing them on the shared use trails by name, if we're naming the trails, then if someone would be driving 30 and strike a non-e-bike user and trail user, the town has already established that that person was in violation. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Ed?
Ed Harrow, 8 Spring Lane, speaking as a citizen. As one of the august board members, Mr. Herr said, it's kids that are the problem. And I struggle every day to keep my 13-year-old tucked safely away inside. You have bikes with no way to identify who's on them. Goes by speeding, and so you're standing there and you're offended and you tell them to slow down. 13-year-old, what are they going to do? Excuse me, I'm not going to really do it, but you kind of get what I'm getting to, I think. Flip the bird and keep on going. I think this is a totally unenforceable good idea. The problem is outside the town's hands. I was listening to a reading a paper on satellites today, and the comment was made that the industry is moving faster than the science. And the industry of e-bikes is moving faster than we can regulate. This is outside of the town. We can pass this bylaw. I think it's totally unenforceable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrow. Do we have anyone else for public comments on Zoom?
No hands raised.
All right, I think we covered that one. Any other comments, questions?
Yeah, just a question through the chair to Elaine. Do we actually have a comment or perspective from police on this?
No.
So I would very much like to hear from police on this because we've been doing a lot of, I think, discussing this in absentia about the complexity of implementation and enforcement.
One of the police officers is on Zoom, and I think we have some.
Do we have someone?
If there's someone ready to speak to this, I would really like to hear it, but to me, that is a missing component of this. We've been trying to reflect that concern on their behalf.
Yep. So Chief Bennett's raised his hand on Zoom.
Hi, Chief.
Chief, do you want to make any comments on this? Chief Bennett, are you online? Can you hear us?
He's coming.
We're getting there.
Good evening. Good evening, Chair. Had a lot of good conversations around this topic with several residents. And I think Nicole recognizes the posture that we would take as far as enforcement. We would be out looking for particular problems, not necessarily patrolling trails. So that, I'm glad they addressed that. I have spoken with the fire chief about the storage portion of it, about bringing those batteries into the station especially. And he educated me on the dangers and which batteries to avoid. So should the town go forward with this, we're in position with the ticketing process. We'd have to develop some policies around what to do if they take off, things like that. So I'll support whatever the town decides.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. So, any other questions?
So through the chair, what you just heard the chief describe, those are called pass-through costs to the community. This bylaw that we are notioning is completely unenforceable. Folks, it isn't free. Very little in life is. I can appreciate that we feel like something needs to be done here. I can understand and support the want. Please do not believe that it is free and without consequence. Very little is.
Thank you. Mr. Herr?
No comments.
Amy?
I'm all set, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. One last question. What is the fine or penalty should someone violates this?
It's a sliding scale. I don't have it in front of me. Elaine?
It's
$100 for the second violation.
a written warning for the first violation, a fine of $100 for the second violation, confiscation of the vehicle for 15 days for the third, and confiscation for 6 months for the fourth and subsequent violation.
Thank you. Any other comments, public or here? Hearing none. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. I think we'll entertain a motion to close the public.
We have one more.
2 more.
Oh, sorry.
Or 2 more, technically. We got civil printer.
Yeah, very important ones.
Civil fingerprinting.
Sure. So the next one is amend by law requires civil fingerprinting for common victualler licensees, sponsors select board. Elaine, do you want to give an overview and then we can discuss?
Yep, this is the one that the board is familiar with, and it would add background check and fingerprinting of applicants for common victualler licenses to existing bylaw regarding civil fingerprinting. And there was a memo in the packet that had input from the police department on
Thank you.
regarding the amount of time it would take to process, which was a question of the board.
Okay. Is that in the regular packet or in the link attached?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
sorry.
think they estimated 150 to 210 hours of FTE time to support the policy as proposed.
How many?
150 to 210, I believe, is what was in there.
Correct.
So about a little over a week and a half of FTE time.
Thank you. Let's go over, Mr. Hart.
So on this one, Elaine, when we talk about any applicant, is that an ownership position or is that a local management position?
So the bylaw talks about the applicant, so it's whoever is applying for the license.
Whoever applies for the license would have to provide a fingerprint.
Correct.
I'm okay with that. I wouldn't want it to be ownership, because if the Dell folks are getting fingerprinted in Texas, you know, to have a coffee shop in Hopkinton, Massachusetts, that would be problematic, right? So I think it's reasonable at the local level, on one hand, in terms of that sort of thing, but I thought also that the board discussed this in the past and that we were somewhat concerned about, civil liberties and other matters. I'm curious, has town council approved of this language?
Yes, so all we're doing is adding one change to the bylaw, and that's adding the common and victular license. The bylaw already exists, and
Got it.
read it, and it's fine.
Last time I checked, we might have one ice cream vendor in town.
Right.
We have multiple dozens of common vics, so I think it's a different scale thing. And then, what other towns have this in their bylaws? Do you know?
Not aware of reading at this time.
So none other in the Commonwealth?
Not that we're aware of.
There's a reason for that, right? So if the big cities don't have this, with all that goes on in the big cities, I struggle with why we would have this here in Hopkinton. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Mr. Davush?
Yeah, I hear Mr. Herr's concerns, but I do think that it's something that the public wants to talk and that we should consider and think about at town meeting. Although, like, a lot of professions require fingerprinting, like teachers or people that work in a school building. So not common victualers, but I don't think it's too far out of line. But I think town meeting would like to discuss it and make the decision at town meeting.
Mr. Kisner, you want?
Yeah, when this came up last, I had actually asked if we could hear from Chamber of Commerce on this. Did we get any feedback from the Chamber on this proposal?
No, we don't have feedback from them.
So I'd still really like to hear from them as the preeminent business and governance group in town. I look at Mr. Herr and Chairman On today, and I think both of you have previously expressed the concern about the perception of not being business friendly. And so I'm sensitive to this too. There has to be a line between wanting to understand who is coming into town and doing business and the civil liberties that we enjoy in this country. I think we are trying to do something for all the right reasons, but I fear we have gone just a few steps too far here. With that said, and I promise I'm winding down here, I'm inclined to agree with Amy that the theme of my whole term here has been transparency. I don't know that I could support this, but I think the town needs to tell us where they are and make the ultimate decision on this one. It's past us.
Thank you, Mr. Kisner. I have some comments. My first one is, let's also make sure everyone realizes that this board is recognizing the voice from the residents about the policy and process for business approval, and we have spent many sessions discussing how to improve it. We have improved and analyzed the process and improved it. We have institutionalized CORI and SORI checks, which are also one of the very few, if not rare, even our neighborhood, I think Ashland does not have that. So we are, I think, in the right path in recognizing certain gaps and certain voices, and we are doing what we think is best for our town to advance the process towards managing it better. And this is another attempt to do that. And as we are hearing, this is probably going to be the only town in New England doing this. But that's where we also want to weigh in and balance that we want to be a business-friendly town. We do need economic development, and we do need economic development not only for tax relief or tax help, but also for quality of the residents' life, having new business, new restaurants, new amenities that can add to the quality of life. So we do need to balance that. And that said, we discussed it at length. We do want to give an opportunity to do what is best for the town and how far and how much we can do. So I would also be on the side of hearing from the residents at large what they think is the right thing to do on this account. Do we go, be the first town in New England to implement CORI, SORI, and fingerprint check? And there's cost involved. There's other challenges. But this is also going to benefit nationwide kind of identification of any criminals trying to do anything in this town or sexual offenders. So that said, I would also support taking it to the town, hear from the town's voice, and let the town residents make the final call on this. So with that, I think I'll look for if there is any other comments from the board. If not, any other comments from the people in this room or online. Please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Lynn Key. I currently reside in Millville, Massachusetts. I have strong ties to Ashland and Hopkinton, and am a really active member of the Worcester community. I want to first apologize for my outburst, and it was an outburst. I wouldn't take it back. I may have done it slightly differently, but what I need to impress upon you in this apology is the reason I spoke up is it is incredibly re-traumatizing to feel like you're being dismissed, even on something as simple as a vote to extend or cede the time that you guys would have been making comment to the women and men and everyone that wanted to speak on the issue that was, running over time. Had you simply taken a vote, that would have been better than what you did, and that was my point. I would hope that you would have made a motion to take a vote and see if that time could be ceded, but I do understand that your time is precious and you had a lot of business to go through tonight. So that being said, I was going through the bylaws and I saw this, and I was excited. So this is going to be a little bit of a different comment coming from this side of the room on this particular issue. My friend and partner in the nonprofit that we're starting, Heather, and I have been to a lot of meetings and spoken with a lot of people about this in the city of Worcester. I personally was not affected by the laws and lack thereof that allow for offenders to slip through the cracks there, but I was personally affected, as was my sister here in Hopkinton. So I have to say that I agree that perhaps fingerprinting is not the way to go unless it's a very specific type of business. But I would recommend that any public-facing business do a national CORI, SORI. I've spent the last 3 years trying to figure out the cracks in our sex offender registry board and how it's enforced, and I am appalled. And there will be more from me on that coming in the future. Suffice it to say, we are not protected at a state level the way we think we are. Obviously, we're not protected at a national level the way we think we are. The only protection that we have access to ensure is adequate is our local protections. So when I sit at a licensing meeting in Northbridge and I watch a friend of mine who committed a crime and did his time and his record was actually sealed get his license turned down, believe it or not, ice cream truck, and perhaps he should have, I'm not arguing one way or the other, because the police chief was present on the force when he committed his crime and did not think his character was sufficient to operate a business that dealt with children. Again, very specific to children, but what he did was he appealed, and his appeal was shot down. I noticed in my very short time poring over the documents of what's been done surrounding this issue in the, I guess, 9 months that it's been being dealt with, I did, and I lost my train of thought because that's trauma. That's trauma, guys. I'm so sorry about that. So long story short, I did look, it's back, I did look at the common vic license application, and just like in Northbridge, and we checked in Worcester, just like in Worcester, there is a section for the police department to sign off, comment, decline, to issue a license. As I said, just like the other two towns. It seems the problem here, again, new to this issue or to knowledge of this issue, but it seems the problem here was that at the one particular pizza place with the biggest problem, Hiller's, which I was not involved in, a simple note on the license would have A, been legal, and I know that that is true, and B, would have given the public sufficient access to who their kids were going to work for. That's just one example. I know you guys are not bad people. There is no freaking way that a single one of you on this board is okay with rape, is okay with child rape. You're not. And I think it's been kind of an adversarial exchange, and I can see why. I've seen this play out in other towns and in Worcester recently. I love the idea, and perhaps town meeting is too big a scale for what I'm about to propose, okay? But I would love the idea of sitting down and talking to members of the community, talking to survivors, talking to business owners, and coming up with an effective plan to ensure that we do the best job possible keeping these people from our kids specifically. And I'm not saying you have to be denied said license. I'm saying it should be noted because the town is asking, is this person a level 2 sex offender? The response can be noted in the license. Again, this is just 3 years of me dealing with the system. So I could be wrong, but I love this. I want to speak on behalf of myself because I don't know what everybody else is thinking. I love this. It shows that you guys are trying to do something. I think perhaps it was done in haste, but I can see why, like something had to be done. So I don't know if there's a committee or a commission that, that could be put together, but I feel like that would be the best way to go. And I applaud you for trying to do something actually in writing that will need to be followed no matter who is in charge. That's all I have.
Thank you, and I appreciate the apology. Anyone else in the room? Please come on in.
Hello, my name is Lauren Laskowski. I'm from 15 Loring Drive in Ashland. I was not planning on speaking today, but seeing that these incredibly strong women had the courage and show up to speak before you has changed that. These victims came before you to speak, and you completely disregarded and disrespected them. Seeing the sweat and tears from my mother, Marie Laskowski, behind closed doors is beyond painful for me. I dare you to look these victims in the eyes and say you don't care. Do you want to know why I carry a rape whistle wherever I go? It's because of you. Your incompetence of renewing rapists and molesters' licenses and people of authority like Joe Bennett, instilling fear in young women, just like myself. Coming from a male-dominated sport, I know many young men who would swing at any man who look at me the wrong way. It is humiliating that men half your age care more about young women than all of you. The fact that you men and women on the select board clearly don't care about the vicious cycle of sexual assault in your town is truly humiliating. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you. Anyone else from the room? Please come on in.
Through the chair. This is not, well, I appreciate that these are.
My name is.
I'm sorry, sir. Well, I appreciate that these comments are still out there. We have a process for public forum. We do 15 minutes at the beginning. We circle back to any other topics at the end of the meeting.
Comment on the bylaw, though.
You are no longer having a conversation with us about the bylaw.
Please do not interrupt.
So through the chair, the previous discussion, while impactful, was not related to the bylaw. I am concerned that we are once again engaging in public forum.
That's a good point, Mr. Kishner. I would request the speakers to limit it to the bylaw and the discussion within the four corners of this. And we do have to appreciate, the time because we have other important topics to go over, and this is very important. That's why we are spending almost half an hour or more than that, and we are happy to do that, but please be cognizant of that. Please go ahead.
So my name is Ed Cates. I'm from 23 Ruth Ellen Road in Holliston, and I am with a bunch of other guys trying to promote a CHIPS program that's going to happen here in Hopkinton at the YMCA. And that's what you do for kids, so if the kid gets lost or missing, all the data is on a thumb drive, and the police can have all their information, their weight, the height, the picture, their DNA. And as I've talked to people, I was shocked that when I spoke to somebody, they said, I would not bring my kid to Hopkinton to have that done. I was surprised, because the CHIPS program is a very important thing.
How is it related to the fingerprinting bylaw that we are proposing?
I'm saying that after the discussions about what I've heard tonight and my experience of trying to get people to support this CHIPS program, which I think is a very valid program, where there is a record of the kids, who that person is, should they become lost or missing, and to have people tell me that they would never bring their kid to the Hopkinton YMCA to have it done.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Anyone else in the room? Do we have anyone online who wants to speak on this topic?
There's no hands on Zoom.
All right. I think we don't have anyone else. So I would ask the board if anyone else has any questions, comments, or we are ready to close the public hearing.
There's one more bylaw to review.
Oh.
Well, we've been voting each as we go along here, so are we going to do that here?
Actually,
The board doesn't have to vote on any of these.
I'm sorry?
The board doesn't have to vote on any of these.
So but we had done a couple in the,
we haven't done any, actually.
Just the street acceptances.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Advising us not to vote, or
Got it.
that we don't have to.
Got it. Thank you.
Good point, thank you. So we'll go to the last, is this the last one?
Temporary repairs on private ways.
The citizen petition?
Amend Chapter 174, Article 6, temporary repairs on private ways. 174-22, sponsor citizen petition. Do we have someone to give us an overview?
Parker Happ?
Oh, okay.
Mr. Happ, are you here or online?
It's not online.
He's not here either. So I think, Elaine, do you want to give us any context? Then we can try to discuss.
His bylaw amendment is part of his large petition, and he's asking to restrike the limit on the amount of money that can be spent on private ways by the town. Right now, there's a $1,000 limit. He'd like to remove that limit. So there would be no limit.
Which is tied, I'm sorry, which is tied to the Osceola Road
It's in the same
article?
Article.
Got it. Or to support that article, basically.
Probably a separate.
Because this is a separate article.
It's a separate vote, right?
Probably a separate motion. We don't have a motion yet from him.
Is there a reason why they're separated? Would it be better to bundle it? Or
No, the vote in the town meeting warrant, it's all one article. But we pulled that out because you're having a hearing on all the general bylaw amendments.
And this would be part of the general bylaw change.
Okay, so it's one article, but it could be two separate motions on the article? Okay. And, okay, so right now it says the town of Hopkinton would be entitled to make minor repairs to a sum not to exceed $1,000 in total in any way in one fiscal year, and he wants to remove the sum, the last phrase. He wants to allow minor repairs without a dollar limit. Okay.
any questions, comments, Mr. DeBush?
I don't think I really do. I mean, 1,000 does seem kind of low with inflation, so I think I could support a change, but I'm not sure about making it so open-ended. We might still want to limit.
Thank you, Mr. Hare.
I'd be curious when this $1,000 went into effect, and was it $1,000 in 1985, so maybe it should be 25 Gs now, or was it $1,000 last year and we want to bump it up to infinity, you know?
From the original bylaw.
Yeah.
Which was when, do we know?
I can look that up.
Yeah, I had the same question.
Yeah, it does seem awfully low.
Sorry?
It seems very low. What could you do for $1,000?
Yeah, you can't do much for $1,000.
Can't repair your driveway even.
But I don't think a wide open, you know,
Millions of dollars, yeah.
right.
All right.
She's looking, she's working away over there.
That was in 2001.
Oh.
Okay, so 25 years ago, $1,000, so
That's not enough, really.
I would be okay setting it to a dollar amount higher than that, but I wouldn't have it be just wide open. I don't know, 25 years ago in the construction business,
3 times.
5 times. I'd go 10 Gs, I think would be fine in the modern world, something like that.
Should we ask the town manager to research what other towns do?
Well, it's a citizen petition.
Oh, right, but we could make an alternate motion.
Suggestion to the proponent.
Yeah, I would suggest to the proponent that we cap it at something, and I would think $10,000 would be a reasonable number in line with the original intent of the bylaw in 2001, but in today's dollars.
Mr. Hart, do you make amendments here, or?
I'm just talking it through. I'm sure they'll hear about it, so, you know.
Yeah, fine. Mr. Kisner?
I agree in general that it needs to be updated. $1,000 in today terms it's nothing. You're not even doing the work.
Thank you. I think that makes sense. I have nothing more to add. Anyone in the public? Sorry, Mr. Bush?
There's no one on Zoom. Yeah, I already spoke.
No one on Zoom. Anyone in the room wants to speak to this? Hearing none.
Mr. Chair, I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All those are in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays?
Oh, aye, sorry.
The motion carries 4-0. The public hearing is closed. Moving on to the next agenda, we have Elementary School Building Committee update. The Select Board will hear an update from John Graziano, Chair, Elementary School Building Committee 2, on the progress of the Charles Stewart School project. Thanks for the wait.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yep, thanks for having me. I had put together a couple of slides. Can we get those up?
Yep, they're coming.
Oh, come on.
They're wizarding.
Oh, but I don't get to see it.
Oh, I think you can put them here.
No, I can do. I got it here. So, wanted to come and give an update to this board because, first of all, John Graziano, 8 Kimball Road, speaking tonight as chair of the Elementary School Building Committee. Just wanted to come and give a quick update on the progress of the project and what the community can expect upcoming. As you are likely aware, we are well into construction on the new school. We have enjoyed just the great partnership of the Mass School Building Authority and the professionals we've hired from Vertex, Perkins Eastman, Brate Builders, and all of our subcontractors, and things continue to be moving along very positively. If we can go to the next slide. Just a couple of high point updates. First of all, schedule-wise, we remain on schedule from a construction perspective. Our target is to be able to open this building in January of 2028, which would be just after the winter holiday break for those students. The progress is continuing all according to, or in some cases ahead of schedule. We got some generally good weather this winter, which was helpful. And we will be beginning the Hayden Row Street improvements that are part of the project this summer. And we expect those to be completed sometime by the end of this year. From a budget perspective, initially our approval budget was around $158 million. Thus far, we've committed about $121 million of that. That's not the full cost we're going to spend of the project. That is based on the contract from the general contractor, and it's subject to change orders. There are also a few things that aren't in that $120 million commitment yet, like furnishings and some of the pieces on the road work. But we are still tracking to be significantly under the budget that was approved at the town meeting. At our last project funding agreement with the MSBA, it was estimated to be around $147 million. So, and that's including contingencies, which hopefully we won't have to go into, but they're there for a reason. If we can hop on to the next slide. This is schedule update. So the thing to know for this is the building is largely formed. We have all structural steel was up by the end of 2025. We've working on the last pieces of completing the foundation. We have begun the geothermal well drilling. We've got 3 rigs on site right now that are drilling every day, so that is progressing. We will, from a roadway perspective, we have been, well, not we, our utility providers have been doing the required pole movements. So all the new poles have been placed, bar the 2 that are right in front of the Marathon driveway, and those should be completed this week. And then the wires will move and we can get the old poles out of there. There will be some preliminary work done for Hayden Row improvements over the April vacation, just so we can continue to get ahead of the work, but the bulk of that will be done in the summer. Obviously, we don't want to be doing significant construction work on Hayden Row while school is in session, because we all know what that would look like. The best thing I thought I could do is bring some pictures of what's going on over at the construction site. So if we can hop down to the next slide. This is what is essentially going to be the front of the building. So you can see this will be the view as you're coming onto the site and driving into the front of the building. So that middle section that's got the blue weather covering will be the main entrance. We'll have the circle out there, and you can sort of start to see how the 3 wings come together on this building. If you do, and any members of the select board are welcome to, if you do have the opportunity to tour the construction site at any point in time, one of the things that I found really interesting about it is they're building it wing by wing, so you can really see how the project is coming together, because the A wing is a lot further along than the B wing is a lot further along than the C wing, so you can really see the different stages of construction. Again, if any members of the select board are interested in having a tour, feel free to reach out to me and I will coordinate with Vertex and we'll get that done. We've got people on site there every day. We can go to the next one. Here, just a couple of sort of working shots. You can see they're doing the concrete flooring on the 3rd level of Area C. That is the last concrete that we need to do. From a flooring perspective, obviously we went A, B, C, so the 3rd level of C is the last piece. You also see a shot of them building the retaining wall on the far side of the site. There's a pretty significant grade on the site, so we'll be building up a bit to level it and building a retaining wall. They're building a retaining wall to ensure the structural safety of it. Next. So here you can see on the left side is the interior framing of Area A. So you can see that we've already started to get the formation of some classrooms. And then on the outside, the focus right now is on enclosing the building envelope. So the goal is obviously to get the building weather tight so that we can start working on the interior sections next. And then a couple more interior shots on the next slide of our, you can see the ductwork and utilities going in. And then finally, I think we added a picture of the well field being drilled on the last slide. So, I think the pictures are obviously the highlight piece, but the big things are on time and currently tracking to under budget. So we will do everything in our power to continue that, but the signs continue to be positive at this point. So open it up to any questions that the board might have about the project.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and wonderful update. I'll start with Mr. Herr.
Looks great. I've been on a million of those sites in my life, and it looks like a good construction site. Thank you. Great job.
Mr. Kisner.
Yeah, just quickly, in terms of the under budget, that largely just a reflection of coming down from where COVID pricing was from your perspective, or any other lessons learned here we could be sharing? Because you're doing phenomenal work. I have no other comments.
I think, look, realistically, I'd love to take more credit for it than coming down from COVID inflation, but I think we hit at a really we hit at a really good bid point because the inflation was starting to level off, and also contractors were really looking to lock in their work. I mean, this is a 3-year project, so a general contractor being able to lock that in, they're going to give us aggressive pricing. So I think we were able to take advantage of that. The management now is just controlling the change orders, making sure that we don't eat up the rest of the budget on change orders.
Now, through the chair, we were ready for a little bit of luck in the MSBA process. Didn't go our way the first time. Nice to see it going our way the second time. Cheers.
Mr. DeBush?
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation, and I'm glad that it's going on schedule and possibly under budget. And I think I would be interested in a tour at some point, but I don't want someone to do it special for me. So if we could arrange a time, we could all go, would be nice.
Yeah. So that would be fine. I mean, be happy to do, if you all want to coordinate, I don't know if you want to coordinate.
We can discuss.
We'll coordinate
on
that would be great. And as I said, just reach out to me and I'll work with Vertex to make sure we get that set up.
Love it.
And one question I'm hearing in the community too is, so it sounds like it'll be done around winter break. And they could move the Elmwood kids right then after winter break, we think?
I believe that the plan will be to move the Elmwood kids over winter break. I don't want to go too far in that because that's really a Mr. Bishop decision in terms of how that will work best operationally. I know that the teachers and administrators will be anxious to get in there as soon as they can. So if there is an opportunity to move everyone in, they would probably love to do that.
But it has a waterfall effect where some of Hopkins could move in or not, or they could wait, and some of the middle school could then move to Hopkins, and can it all be done at once?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously a complex project to undertake over a winter break. So as I said, I don't want to get ahead of Mr.
Right, no, it's not your decision,
But yeah, no, I mean, the idea would be to at least move the Elmwood students over during the winter break.
Okay, and then budget-wise, I assume because we voted this a long time ago, we already have our supplies and supply costs all locked in. So if there's more inflation this year, we've already, ordered our supplies and materials, right?
From a building perspective, yeah. So we did this as a general contractor bid. So the contractor really just basically bids the entire project on one number.
Okay, so we're not at risk.
So we're not at risk. I mean, if there are significant shifts that would necessitate potentially a change order, we would have to negotiate with the construction manager, but presumably they've locked in all of those prices, and their pricing reflected any uncertainties that they might have.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, John, for coming and giving us a wonderful presentation and full of good news. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the really hard work that you, the Vertex team, the committee, and everyone is putting together. It's not an easy one, and you've been on this for a long time. I appreciate all the wonderful work and contributions. This is really heartening to see it coming up and looking live now and going on time, going under budget, all great news, and certainly shows the thoughtful, strategic thinking that you all have put in into making it happen. A couple of just clarification questions. I think we all are interested in visiting, so we'll work with Elaine and we'll set up some schedule that works for you and for the site. A couple of questions. One is, so timeline-wise, would you say we are targeting, I think 28, right? And that is tracking, or we are ahead, or we'll have catch up?
So that is tracking. We are, if you look at the detailed schedule, we are a little bit ahead, but not enough that I would, want to get more aggressive than January of 28. But there's nothing at this point to make me believe that January 28 will not be hit.
Thank you, and it's good to have some buffer too. So that helps if we're a little bit ahead. And in terms of the savings, when do you think we'll have more, I think, tangible sense of how much it'll go under budget? The reason is with that timing, if there is a way we can time it with the town meeting for future kind of managing the savings, those are some of the thoughts.
It's a good question, and one that I would want to, if it's okay, I would love to go back to the Vertex team and get a sense of where we might feel more confident, like at what stage of the construction we feel like we've locked it in enough that, that we feel comfortable there. I am comfortable that this project, barring some really unforeseen large event, is going to be coming in under budget, because the biggest piece of it was the general contractor bid, and that those came in really favorable to us. But in terms of the amount, I can find out and come back to you.
Sure. Thank you. I totally understand. And thank you again for all you do and coming tonight. I think, anyone else? Anything else?
Good.
Look forward to taking you all on a tour of it soon.
I'm excited.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, John.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
Good, John.
Hard hat, steel toes. Yes, please.
We'll move to the next agenda, probably the...
So we did board and committee, so I think we're on.
It's the grant of location. Grant of location, NSTAR Electric Company, DBA, Eversource Energy, and Verizon Ash Street. The Select Board will consider approving a pole relocation petition presented by NSTAR Electric Company, DBA, as Eversource Energy, and Verizon for obtaining a grant of location to relocate one pole, number 2/11. This work is necessary to provide electric service to number 27 Ash Street. Elaine, do you want to give us an overview? And we probably have people.
To ask if the applicant is on Zoom.
Okay. All right. Applicant Eversource, we have someone. I'm sorry, I don't have Zoom in front, but do you want to speak up? I wonder if he's on mute.
If not, I can briefly review it.
Okay, if you want to start, and we'll probably need Amy to.
Yep, it's very simple. A pole on Ash Street at around number 27 is being moved 18 feet to the south. And that's what it is.
And the old one will be
The old one would be
cut
removed.
down. Yeah. All right, anything else? People online want to add? I'm sorry, who's online from Eversource, Amy?
I don't see anyone from Eversource.
Oh, okay.
Connor's online still.
Yep. Questions, comments, Mr. Harris?
You know, we've done a lot of work to get poles out of downtown Hopkinton. This pole in particular is well south of that, so I don't think it's really going to change the view shed that we've created here the last few years, so I'm good. Thanks.
Mr. DeBush?
No, I don't have any questions.
Mr. Kizna?
No, unless there's a butter concerns, it sounds like needs to be done.
I'm all set too. Thank you. Do we vote on this? We need a motion? Anyone want to bring the motion?
Motion's useless.
Number 11.
I move to approve the grant of location for the relocation of pole number 2/11 on Ash Street northeasterly at the intersection of Catherine Drive as submitted.
Any second?
Second.
All the in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 4-0. Moving to the next one, 2026 Annual Town Meeting. The Select Board will consider reviewing the May 2, 2026 Annual Town Meeting draft warrant articles and motions and taking positions on warrant articles, finalize ballot questions, if any. Elaine, we'll need your help. How do we?
I was going to say, through the chair.
Yeah.
It's already 9 o'clock and we are down our chair, and this has not been a particularly easy meeting. I wanted to ask the rest of the board if there was perhaps a desire to resume this at a future meeting. I know we are coming up on deadline. I am sensitive to the town meeting proximity. It's late. This was not an easy meeting and we are missing our chair. I think we would be better served by postponing the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Kisner. What do you?
How many more meetings till town meeting? Just want to make sure we can fit it all in.
Next week would be the one you'd have to vote at.
So it may have to be a very long one next time then too, just if we do.
How many do we have to vote on?
A lot.
It's a long list there.
Several.
Yep. I mean, obviously I speak for myself. I'm happy to go through. I just wanted to be transparent and at least acknowledge openly. There is a human component for us too.
Yeah, no, I feel it. It's late.
Tonight, you already voted on the street, so there's 3 that you can check off.
I'll follow your lead here, sir.
Mr. Harris?
I'm flexible, whatever the board wants to do.
All right, let's, I'm flexible too. Obviously, next week, we'll probably have to dedicate a lot of time, but that's fine.
In all the budgetary ones, appropriations is still working on that, so we wouldn't do those tonight
You'll
anyway.
have to do the budget next time.
Okay.
Are there any relatively straightforward ones you think we could move forward with tonight?
Yeah, I guess, are there any you'd like to highlight to us? That's probably, thank you for asking it that way, Amy.
I don't,
So we're waiting on budget. We did the roads.
Do you feel comfortable voting on the CPC ones?
What did you say? Wait.
The CPC ones, if you feel comfortable with their presentation, or you can wait, too.
So we do have a meeting next week?
Or, no, 2 weeks, I think, right?
2 weeks from now.
1 week. Because the 2 weeks is the holiday week.
Oh, right.
So next Tuesday. And then the Friday, the 17th, we're voting to close the special town meeting.
Sign
See
the-
anything on that yet?
So far, no articles.
They've made that clear.
I will not be available next meeting, but that's okay.
Okay.
Covered most.
Oh, so you won't be able
In that case, are there any you'd like to offer your perspective on now,
forth then?
just for the record? It's like, obviously, your perspective matters to us.
No, thank you, I appreciate that. I think I can, nothing kind of comes, we discussed a lot of these on various fronts, but yeah, there are some new ones. But nothing is standing out. I'm glad we did the streets today. And other than that, CPC ones, I'm reading those. If I have anything, I'll probably express by email or in the town meeting itself. I'm good. That's
Wait, how about these ones that are optional recommendations that we did go over tonight in the bylaws? Maybe we could vote on those? The the municipal aggregation fund, the municipal EV charging fund.
For the ones that we discussed today?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Get those over with?
I'll follow your lead, gang.
Okay. I just would like to knock some off, I think.
Yeah. So all the,
I would make a motion to approve the articles for establishing a revolving fund for municipal aggregation funds and establishing a revolving fund for municipal electric vehicle charging.
He's going to ask us what numbers they are. I can already see it.
Oh, do we need to see the number?
It was municipal aggregation and EV? Okay, so I'm recused from that, please.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right, I'll be right over there.
So does anyone else second that motion, or no?
EV meaning the bikes in the bylaw there?
No, the revolving.
This is charging
revolving fund
stations.
for
Thank
the-
you.
Yeah.
Second, I will second that, sorry.
So it's the two revolving funds, the municipal aggregation and the EV charging.
all those, any other discussions? All those who are in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 3-0.
He's back.
And I guess I would make a motion to recommend approval of the article for the, adopt a new bylaw, use of trails and shared use paths.
I'll give you the second, assuming that was a motion.
Discussions? This is the electric bike.
Yep.
Any discussions?
I think I expressed my concerns pretty openly.
Did we get a second?
I seconded the motion, so we could at least have the conversation.
All those who are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1.
And then I would make a motion to recommend approval of the article requiring civil fingerprinting for common victualler licenses.
Second. Any discussions?
This is for the fingerprinting article?
Yep.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All right. We'll put it on vote. All those are in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
2-2. What happens to that?
It's not a recommendation, but you're not required to make a recommendation anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next one?
I think that was it.
So it's a
All right.
neutral recommendation, either yes nor no.
Yep. I think if we bring that one back, it would benefit us and the town through the chair if we brought that one back with Joe next week, just to put a finer point on it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, so do you want me to withdraw my motion? and
No, I
We'll
think-
vote it again next time?
We voted again next
Open
time.
it again. Or move another motion.
We could always change our recommendation next time. Okay. That's fine.
But thank you for punching us through a couple of these, Amy. And my apologies for being blunt about being cooked. It's just, I'm cooked after that.
So it does get straight out. But anything else we want to cover today?
Oh, I'm good for now.
All right. I think we'll leave that next, or the other ones for the next meeting. And moving to the next item on the agenda, which is town manager's report.
Thank you. Just want wanted to highlight that the fire department has been awarded a $11,704 grant from the Mass Department of Fire Services from its firefighter safety equipment grant program. And the funds will be used to purchase 1 complete set of PPE for a new hire and 6 sets of ballistic gear.
Awesome. Great work.
Congratulations.
How much is the amount?
$11,704.
Great, congratulations.
It's awesome.
Second, just wanted to give a follow-up on the request for a street light on Clinton Street from a resident. At one of the previous meetings, the board talked about our action items and going forward with that. The resident has decided to withdraw their request, so we won't be pursuing that.
Did you get any feedback about why? And the only reason I'm asking is not through the chair, not because I need to be right on this one, but rather it was important to me that Dave came and represented this as a safety concern. I heard that so differently than a citizen coming and saying, I want a light on my road. Can you just help me understand what changed in the background?
I think after hearing the comments of the board.
Okay. Kudos over there. You members of the board echoed to me that I needed to have a bigger picture view on this one. I will acknowledge that apparently I did. Thank you.
And then thirdly, no vacancies to report, so no postings requested. That's it.
All right, thank you. Anything else, Elaine? Anyone, questions, comments? Moving to the almost final one. Liaison reports, board invites. Mr. Hare.
I have nothing to report on the corridor. There was a meeting this morning. I was not able to attend it for business reasons. I'll get the minutes and report at the next meeting.
Thank you. Mr. DeBush?
Yeah, I appreciate the list. I added some more items after the agenda went out, but I'll be happy to go to the informational meeting with the BAA for the residents of Maple Church and Price Street. And I wanted to note with the Rang Holy Festival at Weston Nurseries coming up on April 11th, 2 to 5. And I'm going to go to the Prudential Center event. I don't know if any of you are also going. It's a very nice event. And then the Hopkinen Pride Parade is set for June 20th on the Town Commons, so just to keep that on our radar.
Great, Ms. Kizner, Mr. Kizner.
I'll start. Thank you for emphasizing the Holy Festival. I will also be there, and I have a feeling there are members of the community who would like to throw things at me, and this is apparently an event where you're allowed to do that, so feel free. Just in terms of actual liaison updates, I had coffee and a quick chat with our friends over from the Keefe Tech School Committee. I know we have a future agenda item to have them back here, but a little more context for us that while we now have 8 dedicated seats as part of apportionment, on an average year, about 20 students from Hopkinton actually apply. So while this is helping to level the playing field for us against some of the bigger towns, I do want to note that there is a portion of this where it could be a little bit disadvantaging to us. This is something that's ultimately being driven by compliance to state laws. It is not the way Keefe wants to go. So we'll hear more about this when they come, but I at least want to frame that it is a little bit of an impact to us, but we also have not yet had a circumstance in which a child from Hopkinton ultimately wants to go that is being rejected, that's been brought to me. But at least be aware that it's going to be a little bit harder.
What was the number again? We have how many seats?
We have 8 dedicated seats, and my conversation with Sabine was around 20 people apply, but not all 20 people typically would consider actually going. So we've yet to find ourselves in a position in which we have been unable to put all the bodies who want to go in the school, but recognize that as a potential moving forward. They would be in the lottery, essentially.
If I may add, it's scheduled for next week's agenda.
She's way better at this than we are.
Then I'll save my questions. I was going to ask, is it always 8 or is
No,
it
we'll let them come to us. And then very quickly, I had the opportunity to go to the Water and Sewer Advisory Board meeting last week. So I was there for a couple topics. I'll keep it very brief. Kyla and I presented again on the updates we're trying to drive to the financial policy. I think it was a really good discussion. I would anticipate when Abrams and the Water and Sewer Board come back before us for rates next year, we'll be able to finalize that language and walk through it with everyone in the room. So I think we've gotten stakeholder comfort, but now there is a desire to have the conversation with Matt Abrams and to have it all here. That's great. We'll be ready when you're ready.
Thank you. May I comment?
Please, of course.
And this is for the next one too. I'd like to hear more from the Water Advisory Board on the brown water issue.
Yep, you're gonna.
And that's something I think I'm hearing a lot from the residents.
Yes.
Yep, we're on the same.
Maybe, just understanding
Thank you.
the reality, the strategy, and what are the, options and all those. If we can have them come to the board and talk about it. It will be educational for us and for the town as well.
Through the chair, thank you. I also had a future agenda item that I've been submitting to Joe and Elaine around wanting an update from Water and Sewer and the DPW around drought. So I think we have conversations to have with them quickly, and I know I said it'd be quick. The other piece that I do want to bring to the board, I happened to be there when DEP was presenting some of the options for MWRA connection and the overall assessments of what they're going to present upward. I think the key pieces I would want to share with you, first, hard to torture the state into giving you actual information. $35 million is what they're currently projecting as the CapEx just to connect to the MWRA. That is not any of the other infrastructure or anything else, just a raw $35 million. Generally speaking, the proposals that they were showing resulted in either a tripling or quadrupling of the current size of the enterprise fund. So right now it's about $2 million. Average inflation would take this to $4 million. The proposals that they were floating had an enterprise fund of upwards of either $9 million or $11.5 million. You may ask yourself, where does the money come from when you triple or quadruple the budget of an enterprise fund? The answer is from the ratepayers. We have some real concerns and issues about water, cost of water, and quality of water. We need that group here.
Yeah, that's great points. And just to comment on that, I'm actually a little surprised that it's 35 because it was 30 or 32 about 8 years ago.
That's the number they quoted.
No, I'm just saying it's.
I share your concern.
It didn't go up by that much is good to hear. I don't want to push the luck there, but of course we want to pay closer attention to that. Thank you for the update. Anything else?
Nope. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Hurd?
All good, thanks.
From my end, not much. I think MWRTA, I am asking them to come to our board and give an update. As you have heard, there's a redesign that's happening, and we discuss, and I have proposed some of the options, and they have also done good analysis. So it'll be a good idea to walk through the new route that's being proposed, and it should connect our economic development centers, a little more add to the legacy, and most importantly, it'll also reach to the Ashland station as well as the Southborough station. So it's a pretty neat one. Oh, and also extending to Delhi MC. So people who are commuters can, from the train station, go to Delhi MC office actually inside the campus. So I'm very happy to have these amendments, and it's coming out well. So I'll invite them through Elaine to join us and explain it and walk through that. That's all I have. Lish.
Sorry, I thought of something else. I'm sorry, I know
Please,
we're almost done. For the event at the BAA for the residents of Church Maple and Church and Maple Street, I also heard from residents more like the Pike Holt area that would be interested too. Can other residents come, or did they have to get an invite to go?
I haven't seen the invite, so I don't know who it was.
It was in our.
Oh, did they invite?
It was in our upcoming events list.
But who did they send an invite? If it's a public meeting, anybody can go.
I guess I don't know. It just it says for residents of Maple Church and Price, but I've heard from some that are more in the Holt Pike area too that would be interested.
I'd say 12. Okay. That's just my opinion.
Okay, and then we had a comment via email about needing more porta potties at this time of year for runners during their training runs before the town offices are open, but I noticed that they added some porta potties behind 1 Ash Street, so hopefully that will help. And then, because there, like others have said, there's been a huge concern in town about the water discoloration, and do we have a recent PowerPoint from the Water Sewer Advisory Board that we could, it must have been in one of our packets last time they came. People would like to know that we're doing something and what we're doing, I think, and I think they don't watch our very long meetings because it gets tiresome. And then, did we talk about?
Especially at the end.
At the end, yes, especially if we bring it up at the end.
Yeah.
And then, did we talk about the Bobby Gibbs statue unveiling? I think we haven't had a meeting since then, right? So we all attended that, and it was really nice. And and the same day I went to an event for women elected municipal officials in Sturbridge, and it was very interesting to hear from what they're doing in other towns, and people talked about their big wins and their. And it was very interesting. But there was one woman from another town, and their big win was finally getting zoned for a hotel. And I said, well, I've got some news for you. We zoned for a hotel about 10 years ago, and no hotel has ever come. But anyway, that's their hope. But yeah, it was very good. Thanks to the MMA for putting that on.
Thank you. And in May sometime, just to add to that, We will have the economic development plan that's currently in progress with the consultants.
We'll see if it brings a hotel.
Come over and give us a state of things as well as the plan and strategy a little bit.
Through the chair, and I know it feels like an eternity ago, but I do want to echo that the Fire and Light Festival that happened in the town common, absolutely wonderful, exact right note, easy to get to, fire, kids, people. The drone was great. It hit all of the right notes. That's the exact sort of event I really want to be seeing more of, and I appreciate that that group is reflecting thoughtfully on how they can be impactful in the community. It's great stuff.
So filling a niche time of year maybe when people
Yeah.
get something to do. Yeah.
It was a huge win with my kids.
Thank you.
All right.
Nothing else, we can go to the last item, future board agenda items. I would let Mr. Clark worry about it. Yep. Next time. But
Yeah.
if anything comes up, I just will add the MWRTA and the water advisory, we already have it.
I think somebody put that on there already, so I think,
Oh,
Like little elves today.
yeah.
Nice. So we'll,
Take off the ESBC update.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, all right, check some off.
And if that's the case and there's nothing else, I'm comfortable making a motion to adjourn if there's an interest.
Thank you.
Second? Or did you make?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All that are in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you all. Have a good night.